Honk.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome all. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I'm not blowing anyone away. Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday. It is Tuesday, May 18th, 2021, in the year of our Lord, Anno Domini, etc., etc. And I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to our stream today, which is going to be involving, wait for it, this, as we finally get back into, it's been a couple of months. I'm very excited that we are getting back to the Way of the Tiger Assassin. You are a ninja warrior in this new role-playing adventure series, or at least it was new in 1985 when I got the book, or whatever it is. I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to playing along with us and watching the amazing illustrations of one TariToons. But before we go any further in that scope, I just want to talk a little bit here to all of you about ways to support the channel and remind everybody about a pretty big event that we've got coming up here as well. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets. Website is arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, !ArvShop is the merchandise area where you can get stuff for the Adventures of Middle-earth crew, Infinity and Beyond crew, and soon to be Esper Genesis crew as well. That is under construction. Please pardon our mess. We've got stuff to do to fix that shop. So, yeah, we've got that coming up. So you can support us there. You can also, what's up, Kara? Good to see you. Yes, more game books. And it's Effect Life, and we're going to be using Effect Life stuff as well. Thank you very much for that, Triffid, by the way. We have also got, of course, the amazing Patreon. What's up, Nonstop? !ArvTreon. That's ARVTREON. That allows you to support the Patreon. We have 23 patrons, 214 per month. And that number has been moving up slightly over the last couple of months. That's good. We want to continue to push it in that direction because that's really the financial backbone of the channel that allows us to do a lot of stuff, including allows us to do things like pay for the illustration streams and to get new overlays and videos and to pay our vocalists, about which more in a moment, and all that kind of good stuff. So that really helps. Also, you get some inspirations to help the players, and you can get stuff for yourself individually too. Effect Life, for example, has recently supported the Patreon and is going to be getting an epic poem written about him. So we're going to be doing that coming up here early in June is when that will be delivered, and we will do that during a day stream, so that's going to be awesome. And hey, what's up, kids are asleep? Good to see you, Valerie. So we've got that going on, and I think the only other thing I need to mention as far as that's concerned, I'm going through. Yes. So anyway, the Patreon, good stuff for that. Also, the subscription system that allows you to sub to the channel and get those awesome custom sub badges and emotes and all that good stuff that I see in chat right now. You can do that, and that also gets you inspirations to help the players as well. And if you have not already done so, please consider supporting us on the publishing front. Now, for this, I'm actually going to jump off of the book cover a little bit earlier than I usually do. So let me get rid of that. And let me turn on that. There we go. Hi, everyone. Oh, my God, the brightness. It wasn't that bright when we first started. Hang on a second. Just hang on just a second. Okay. Wait just a moment, yeah. First of all, we've got that. Hold on. That's jittery. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. We've got... No, it's also... Okay, that's close. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, I think it's a little bit better. I don't know why I'm getting that initialized. Hold on, let me deactivate and reactivate. Deactivate. And okay, activate. Okay, that should be better, I think. Okay, so brighter than the brightest night. It is, Elval. I know. It actually is a little bit. It is a little bit crazy. This, I actually already have this dropped down to like 1,000, which is pretty low. And when it gets brighter, it's like that. When it gets darker, you notice it. And so I either have to put on the automatic setting, which is, excuse me, granola bar. But I either have to turn down the setting or I have to make it where I'm manually controlling it, and that becomes very difficult. So I love how much light this room gets. I really do. But I had to make two adjustments. One is that we still have the heat situation. As you know, it's all heading towards summer, and I'm still waiting for the permit, which will allow me to install AC in here, because we're going to need it, y'all, because this is the attic, and it's the attic of a 200-year-old home, and it gets hot up here, and I am not putting a freaking massive window unit, which you can actually see back there, which is like 75 pounds, in my window so that I can be like, so chat, we think that. So I'm not going to do that. So we're getting a ductless AC, but that means I need to get a particular thing to make that happen, a particular permit. You see what I mean? So it gets darker like this. So it's these partially cloudy. Just make up your mind, son. Like, come or go. You know what I'm saying? Just come or go and just stay like that. Okay. See, that's too bright already. Damn it. I'm going to be playing with this all day. I want y'all to know. Anyway, but yeah, so we got the publishing stuff. So first of all, we have Icarus. Now, many of you will, of course, know that recently my graphic novel with art by the amazing Acela Fabio, layout by the amazing Chris Suda, script by the amazing Keith DeCandido, and, of course, published by the amazing Athos Arts, has just won the silver medal for the Independent Book Publishers Association 33rd Annual Benjamin Franklin Award. Not like I've got that put away in my head because I was so excited about it. And so we have gotten a shipment of books from the amazing Athos Arts, and this weekend, Three Rivers Comic Con, I'm actually going to be doing that. I'll talk about that when I get to the schedule. But so that meant that I needed to have a banner made, and so as you can see, I have got the banner in front of me. So let me just show you what it looks like. There we go. You can feast your eyes in all of its glory on the Icarus banner. It looks amazing, and you see that pretty little silver thing, right? That metal right up there. So it looks great. Yeah, I fixed it, Trippin. Thank you. So you got that silver thing right there, right? And then, of course, we've got Jelinek back here, the one who is staring into your soul. And I'm just, yeah, I'm very, very excited about how these things came out. I got the books in from Athos recently, and so I needed to set up the standees because, as I say, I'm going to a con this weekend. My first con in over a year. So excited that I get to go back and start to live normal life again. Oh, man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to be moving back to some stage of normal life. I can't even tell you. Like, Anyway, so I'm going to be doing that, and I need these standees. So I got this banner. It is a local person. I won't say who it is because I don't want to dox myself yet, but you folks I live in Southern Connecticut, and there was a person who did the banner for this who did a great job with it and matched the banner that I already had, which is that one. Thank you. Thank you, Kids Are Asleep. I liked it very much. And so, yeah, so we're going to have those two standees. I'm going to have Icarus books to sell, Jelinek books to sell. Technically, I'm selling them as a set. I'm going to have some CDs from my band to sell. I'm going to have a couple of leftover copies of Mythical, which is the Origins anthology from 2 years ago. And so I've got that. I'm going to have bookmarks and cards to give away. And I may even have, at this place, I might even have a certain book. Now, I can't promise this, but there is a good possibility that a certain book that we may or may not have been waiting for arriving in physical form may or may not be available to me. Not tons of copies to sell yet, but a single physical copy, because it is possible that said physical book has finally emerged from where it was maintained by a certain government entity. Now, I can't say any more than that yet because we're still waiting on an official announcement. I'm just going to put the teaser out there and let you all decide for yourself. But yes, so I'm very excited about that. So things are really starting to come together. I've got my middle grade manuscript, which has been out there, which has gotten some full requests from agents. My fingers are crossed there. I have got this book that may or may not, some of you may know what I'm talking about, that may or may not be coming into my hot little hands in the next day or so. Obviously, the Icarus thing, Silver Medal Award winner, was a huge deal for me, and I'm very excited about that. And, of course, we have the Midwest Book Awards next month, which is going to give us more excitement about that. Grayshade is coming out in the next month and a half, ! Grayshade KS. The Grayshade book is coming out from the same amazing people at Athos Arts. Very excited about that. And then, of course, we've got the Kickstarter for Grayshade, which is late summer, early fall, which is going to be a big deal for me. So I've got a lot of stuff is starting to come together. Given what a terrible year 2020 was for all of us, it's nice to feel like 2021, again, I'm knocking on all kinds of wood, but that 2021 may be starting to come together. most important to me has been not only that I've been able to, be vaccinated. My wife is vaccinated. My mother-in-law is vaccinated, but also little Arv now has had her first vaccination. And so the process has begun. And by the time she goes off to camp, which will be in late June, she will be fully vaccinated. She will be 3 weeks past her second dose. And I am so incredibly relieved, I can't even tell you. That just leaves my son, Mini Arv, who is going to be 5 in June. He comes next, but they're working on that, and hopefully by the fall they'll be able to take care of him. But even so, in little children like that, the effects of COVID are way, way less anyway, for the most part. So I'm just... That's the biggest thing. I am most grateful right now for that. But if I look at the things I'm grateful for, vaccinations right now are top of the list. The new house is second on the list for sure. The Icarus Awards, third on the list. This is besides obviously the basics of health, family, obviously, but I'm just talking about like current at the moment things. The Gray Shade plans with Athos publishing it and all that stuff, fourth on the list. And this new thing I can't talk about that may or may not be showing up in my hot little hands tomorrow. That's going to be another thing. So I'm just very grateful for that. And of course, grateful for the stream and for ArvCon, about which I'm going to talk more in a moment. So just to finish up with my publishing stuff, exclamation point library for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. May or may not be related to something I may have previously announced just a few minutes ago, very secretly and quietly with a wink. And so there's that. And then, of course, we have, as always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives, and exclamation point Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when they need help and to reach out to others when you think you need help as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about schedule. Today, we've got the Gamebook illustration stream. Then, over at 4 p.m., over at GOG.com's Twitch channel, I'm going to be coming at you with some Talisman Adventures, sponsored by Pegasus Spiele. I'm very excited about that. And then, back here tonight, we are going to have the return of the Our Vocalists. Starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, the Our Vocalists will be back with Neocab. Now, at 9 p.m., we are going to have Russ, Zach, and Rob joining us. And then at 10 p.m., coming in a little late, but at 10 p.m. Eastern, Little Red Dot will be back with us as well. So we are going to have the full crew tonight playing some Neocab, and I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a big day today, Tuesday. Tomorrow night, we have, of course, Community D&D with the Shadow Crew, with Triffity Mats, with Echo, with Rock God, with Hoodie, and, of course, with Shadowed Mage as your DM. So I'm very excited to have that. That's going to be happening tomorrow. Hi, Mrs. Dunsel, by the way. So we've got that going on. Then on Thursday, we're off. On Friday, now this is the part where the schedule gets a little bit wonky. Friday, we have currently scheduled Esper Genesis, and then Saturday we've got Legacy of Dragonhold. This weekend, though, as I just said, I'm going down to Three Rivers Comic Con in Pittsburgh, where I'm going to be bringing those two people, those two guys, Icarus and Jelinek, with me, and I'm going to be bringing Little Arv as well. So we're going to be doing that. If anyone's in the Pittsburgh area, I'd love to meet all of you. I know that Trollware I'm probably going to be meeting at some point. Trollware and I often get together when I'm down in that area. I've heard that Geester may be coming by and saying hi with kids in tow. So if any of you are in the Pittsburgh area, would love to see any or all of you there for Three Rivers. I'm very excited to be doing a con. It's not going to involve any panels or anything like that, and it's not a gaming con, it's a Comic Con, so it's a little different than what I usually do. But I've done Three Rivers for a number of years, and I always enjoy it, and it's a chance for me and Little Arv to hang out. I'm going to see a good friend of mine who just recently had a baby on the way back from this, so it's going to be a really exciting trip. And it's going to set us up nicely for next week with, of course, dun dun dun, ArvCon. ArvCon is going to be a big deal, folks, and I've just about got all the corporate sponsors salted away. We have one or two more we're waiting on, but we've made the announcement already as to who's supporting us, and I think that's going to be more or less the group that we'll have. Shadowed Mage has already given me the basic splash screen for this, and it looks awesome, and I cannot wait. It's going to be really cool. Oh, really? Garlic tofu? Yeah, it's fun. It's a good little con. It's the kind of thing where I think the people are pretty friendly, and it's got, but it's very comic oriented, which is why this obviously fits really nicely with that crew. But I have sold copies of my academic books there, and so yeah, it's a nice little thing. They often have it, usually in the past, they had it in these like deserted like malls, like it's a little weird, like going into a place where a bunch of malls have closed and they still have conferences and conventions there and stuff like that. But this one is going to be all outdoors under a massive tent, all socially distanced. There's no walls on the tent, so it's all open to the air. It's going to be right by the river. It's literally called Riverfront, actually, or Harborfront, I guess. So it's going to be right there, and yeah, so that's what we're looking at, and yeah, so I'm very excited for that. So ArvCon, that's going to be, so we've got that. And this coming week, in the next day or so, probably tomorrow, I'm going to post a tweet. In fact, I'm going to just put a little reminder to myself. Schedule ArvCon tweets to announce the schedule of ArvCon. But the basics you already know. Friday will be Esper Genesis. Saturday will be Adventures of Middle-earth, and then D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, the finale. And then, of course, Community D&D Saturday night. And then on Sunday, we have got the marathon session of Infinity and Beyond, the finale of Palace of the Red Pasha. And then we've got the concert on Sunday night with Kilgore Trout, Zach Clay, and Jordan Indiana Gonzalez. And then on Monday, we've got the overtime day, which will involve Mike Underwood and the scientists from Damon Runyon, along with perhaps another ringer of a player. So we've got that going on. And then we've also got, I don't know why this is, okay. So we've got that going on. And then we've also got, in addition to all that, we have got the, yes, we've got Brandon O'Brien, who's going to be with us doing Soundclash the Clampdown in the afternoon/early evening. So we have a 4-day extravaganza planned for you. Again, the top donators are going to get those photos. One from Rock God, I've already showed that off on stream, of the fireworks picture. It's amazing. And then Prince Justin has one that's going to go to the second top donator. I'm going to be receiving that as well, and I'm going to be showing that off on stream when I get that. We're going to have tons of giveaways and things like that. And in fact, I want to make sure that I set mod meeting. I want to make sure that I do that as well. These are all things that as I talk to you, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to remember to also do that. I've got most of these things squared away, but there's a couple things I'm like, So we've got that going on, and all of this to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation, which is doing really amazing work and is really behind us this year in terms of really supporting us with making it easy for people to be able to donate and having a website that's linked to this and all that stuff. So that's very exciting. So this weekend coming up, I've got Three Rivers. The following weekend is ArvCon. So the reason I mentioned it for this weekend is that means that Esper Genesis this Friday is a little up in the air because I may be in transit on Friday. I might do a kind of live travel stream with ArvCon, Yes, with ArvCon holding the stream. No, with Little Arv holding the camera. So I may do something like that while I'm driving down. We may do like a little travel stream. And then on Saturday night, I still think we're going to be doing Legacy of Dragonholt. And I'm going to be doing that live with the power of ArvBox 2.0. So we're still going to be doing that, I think. But I don't know about what's happening with Esper Genesis this Friday. I may have to end up canceling that, which means that it would be the next Friday, which is the next time that you would see Esper Genesis. So we will see whether that happens. Yes, the scientists are still playing on Memorial Day. Yep. They're playing on Memorial Day with Mike Underwood, and we will hear an interview with them on Saturday, a short interview, like 15 minutes at most, but then you'll see those same scientists playing with Mike doing the game, which I think is really cool. Yeah, so it's going to be a big event, a big deal for us, and will be the kind of official launch day of what looks to be a really busy and I hope moving towards normal summer for all of us. I hope that's the case. Obviously, the pandemic is not over, but we're drifting towards normal. And so what's up, Geester? They're too small, right? Like I got these specially for you, Geester. I hope you know. This way I was like, they'll know this is how they'll know how to reach me. Like just got, you know, this guy, if you're not there, if I don't see you, Geester, this guy, you're gonna have to answer to him, okay? So if you fall, it's this fall. And if you don't show up, I'm just saying. Good to see you, Geester. He's easily impressed. Is he really? Geester, of course, is just recently gotten Icarus, so he will be able to see and actually get these things. But so yes, so that's what we got going on. Very exciting. But now the time has come to bring in our expert for today and a good friend, and I'm very glad that we're back in the saddle of doing these. So let me head over to to reveal the illustration. This looks really good on stream. So what you see in front of you, chat, what you see in front of you is the live, as we're doing it, illustration. Like it's happening. It's happening right now, and you can see that it's happening. And it's brought to you by these two hands. You're not going to know who the hands are of. But no, I'm just kidding. That's not true. I am of course joined as always by the amazing TariToons, who's back. Hi, Terry.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So it's always a pleasure to have Terry back, and I am just gonna make sure we capture all of that. Look at that. It's the hand. I mean, I'm telling you. See, that's so cool. So we've got the new setup here where actually we're going to be able to show you drawing it, which will be beneficial for two reasons. Number one, it means it'll be a little bit easier on Terry's wrist and arm to be able to do it this way as God intended. But also it'll be good because to me it makes it even more visceral isn't the right word, but it feels like you're right there watching it happen even more than in digital, even though obviously I know you're drawing it in person and digital. So this is really cool, Terry, and I thank you for setting this up and doing this. And how are you doing, I guess, is my question.
I'm doing good. Just came home from the Netherlands this weekend. So that's nice. The cat is safe, by the way. If anybody has
the cat is safe.
The cat is safe, yes. We found her the next morning at like 6 a.m. screaming after a night with very little sleep, where I went out multiple times during the night to go looking for her. But yeah, no, we found her. So that's nice.
Yeah. She made it. And I assume you had a good stern talking to with her and made it clear this can never happen again, right? I'm
oh,
sure.
No, she doesn't know that she did anything.
Shh, that's not how you're supposed to say it. Okay. She is an idiot.
Oh, no, she actually is. Like, she is, not the sharpest claw in the shed.
Claw in the shed. Oh, man, and where she literally was in the shed.
Where she literally was, yes.
Garlic Tofu says she was watching your Twitter to see if she was okay. Yeah, you are a little quiet. That's true, Terry. Are you able to? You're coming in a little quiet. Are you able to turn up your mic at all?
Yes, I can. Test. 1, 2, 3. Tralala. Better now.
I don't know if that made any difference.
Test. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, I can turn up the speakers. I just have to be careful about myself. Okay. Oh, and actually, no, that wouldn't make any difference.
Test. How is this?
Is that any better, chat? Can people hear okay?
I have no idea. What is chat saying?
Let's see. Well, besides saying they're super excited to see physical drawing, Geester says, I love this illustration of our favorite ninja. Chat, how do we go? How's the sound go? Caro says Terry is still quiet. Triffid says I can hear okay, but Kid says I can hear okay when listening in headphones.
Let me go look into my settings, ideally without throwing everything on the floor.
While you do that, I'm going to quickly grab my book because that would be helpful if we actually had the book. So bear with me, chat.
Yes, actually.
While Terry fixes her volume.
Oh God, and now I have the hiccups. That's just great. Test. 1, 2, 3. Chat, tell me, am I better? Test.
Okay.
La.
All right, how we doing?
3. La. Am I better now? Tell me, chat.
I don't think that...
Tell me!
I mean, it doesn't sound like that...
Anything.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like this is doing anything in terms of making a difference in volume so far.
Yep. Test. 1, 2, 3.
Also try maybe in the Zoom input.
There's an input option.
Yeah, there's a settings thing in Zoom. If you go to audio, like the little up arrow next to the mic, and then you do audio settings. Actually, I might be able to here talk again. No, see, that's the speaker. I can't do that. So it has to be on your end.
Microphone is at maximum.
Your microphone is at maximum.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we can still hear Terry for sure. It's not like she's silent, but.
Well, I mean, this is the highest I can go on anything. So.
Okay, That's fine. So let's just do it. We'll do it that way. We'll be like, we've solved the problem of your arm just so that your vocal cords can be shot every time. Yeah, exactly. Like Elva Marinan said, just shout, "Hi, chat. This is art. All right." Okay.
Now I have to redo my entire setup.
Oh man.
Yeah, because like the spot where I have to keep my sketchbook is like not ideal on the desk. Let's just say that.
Is because the camera doesn't have enough like room
wiggle
to move.
Room.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hi, Craigery. Okay. So
like, ideally, what I would need would be like a wall-mounted rig. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Do you call that a rig?
Like or like a or a wall mounted or like an arm basically.
Yeah, basically. Like currently I'm using a microphone stand that I just use a laundry clip to keep the camera from falling off.
I do the same thing for my board game streams. Yeah, like where it kind of goes straight over. And the only thing I used a thing that was like has a little extension arm to sort of hold the webcam. But the extension arm, it took a little bit of research. Anyway, I'll send it to you a little bit. She stole your mic stand. Hey, listen, I think you mean that she like recommissioned it is what you mean, Elva Marinan, right? For use. Listen, you're
well, okay. Hey, dearie, do you have like a thing? Sure, you can have my microphone stand. Then starts complaining about me having his microphone stand.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I'm sure you can buy another microphone stand in the Netherlands. All right, this is one you're giving away a musician to an artist. Okay, so it's all art. It's all in the art family. She repurposed your stand. Yeah, exactly. She, distributed the means of production of art to herself. It was a communist thing to do, and that's all fine.
Indeed.
But anyway, so chat, we are here with Conan. This is Conan, as you can see. Although actually, wait a minute, I need to make sure it is Conan. Yes. Okay, good.
Yes, it is Conan.
So it's Conan. And so this is what we've currently got moving on. Now, I should point out, by the way, that I know Effect Life is in stream, and Effect Life has given us ArvBot Plus, and you will see that ArvBot Plus will be getting used to good effect. Now, technically, ArvBot Plus also, it's Assassin. Yes, that is what this is. Conan with Assassin. That is what this is. See? We are using that book, Carol. But so ArvBot Plus has also within it something which can do stuff that the Sorcery Project does. But because we already have this saved file and we already have this information that was available to us, I decided to keep using the Sorcery Project file for this. But it may well be that starting with our next book, I may end up switching over to ArvBot Plus exclusively just because it's easier to have one program rather than two. And because right now it is in active development, ArvBot Plus is, so to speak, because Effect Life is a good person who's doing that. So that means that we'll be able to make adjustments all the way. So in the meantime, we're still using the Sorcery Project, but that will change with our next book. And if all goes well, we will wrap up The Way of the Ninja today, but we will see if that happens. It depends on whether I can actually shut up and start playing or whether I'm just going to keep rambling. So let us take a look before you switch pages. Let's just take a look and see what our character is. So this is our character of Conan. Is there any particular thing you want to highlight about the features that she represents? Like
basically, she is a yandere version of Misao from Kenshin. And that means like probably something to like exactly one or two people in chat. So like I guess somebody requested that she has pink hair. Mm-hmm. At some point or something, or like requested, somebody specifically requested in chat when we started this series, this book, that she is a yandere. So I gave her pink hair because of it, because yanderes usually have pink hair.
Makes sense.
Yes, you don't know what a yandere is, but that's fine. You probably don't want to know.
I'll take
that's
your,
like
I'll
a
take your
deep
translation.
anime thing.
Okay.
Like basically inspired by Misao from Kenshin and also by various things from Naruto, because those are the ninja things that I grew up with. And
it's good stuff. So that is our hero. And you are going to see our hero operating through many things today. It's not pink hair, it's white like death and soaked in the blood of her enemies. Yeah, I mean that's
yes,
right. That's basically it. Yeah. It's dyed with blood. I think that's fair.
Also she wears blue because historically ninja have worn blue, actually, and not black. That is a theater thing.
Ah.
Yes, because in Don't Let Me Lie, I think it's Kabuki theater. Might have been no, I'm not sure. But either way, where stagehands were black traditionally, and at some point the plot twist was that the stagehands were assassins that actually were part of the play. But and that was the mind-blowing plot twist of the time. And since then, ninjas were depicted wearing black.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
At least that's a story I've heard.
That's interesting.
Whether or not that is true.
I did a little bit of study of kabuki theater when I was doing work on my court mask work in my court mask academic book, and theater and kabuki and how physically the whole thing was staged was always really fascinating. So yeah, obviously, so people can't see her death from above maneuver. Exactly, like that's how this goes. So chat, what happened here is that we got in the last book, previously not seen. We recaptured the scrolls of Ketsuin, which are the guardian of the secret word of power. We defeated the assassin, and our god Quan gave us many words of praise, all of which we deserved. But then we have to return the scrolls to their rightful place on the island of tranquil dreams, and it has been a long and winding road to get us there, but we're closing in on getting it back to the island, so we need to be careful and think about how we do this. Now, we have, as you can see above, a few things that are important here. We have 20 points of endurance. That's our stamina. Right now, we have our luck equals fate. We have various skills, shuriken jutsu, acrobatics, picking locks, detecting and disarming traps, escapology. We can't call on Quan anymore. We did it once to save ourselves, so Quan is no longer available to us. We have died 3 times. We have a breathing tube, a garrote, flash power, flint and tinder, spiderfish, and the blood of Mardol, which is this poison that we have. So we have all of that stuff. And now we are going to be leaving. And I just want to show you a map, and then we're going to figure out our music situation, and then we'll get started here. But right now, the map that we've got, let me close down the poll for a minute. You can see right now the map, and I'll see if I can maybe expand. No, where is it? Show me. How is that? Oh, there we go. Way of the Tiger map. So, okay. I'm going to expand this like this. So, right now, we are, so Doom Over is, which every time I hear that, I just think like Game Over in Doom. That's a Doom Over. Or if you always get a second chance to do Doom right, so it's called getting a Doom Over. But
wow.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Try the veal. So don't try the veal. They're terrible to the animals. So Doom Over. So the port of Doom Over here, and then the River Greybones to Tor is where we're heading. And we're trying to do this so that we can get across to the bay. The reason I'm moving around here is I'm trying to find where the devil this actually is on the map. Let me just make sure that this is the exact same map. No, it is the same map. That's the right map. To Tor, the city that invented fire. Hold on a second so I can actually position us. I think we went up and over.
Yes,
Reach.
famous Glastonville, the most Japanese place in history.
And Sea Reach. Well, no, but we're not. Remember, though, we're not in that area right now. We are like Grey Guilds. We're traveling back to our home. So that's how that all goes down. Okay, we've got the Crow River. I think basically where we are is right in the middle where it says Wargrave Abyss. I think that's basically where the ship is sailing, if I'm not mistaken. And we just picked this up, picked up this ship recently. So that is where we are currently headed, is into the sea where we can get back to the island of Tranquil Dreams, which is our home. Because, of course, if you're going to live anywhere, you would definitely want to live in a place that is the island of Tranquil Dreams. I think that's obvious. And so that is where we are heading. And as far as whose lettering is that, I don't know. That lettering comes from the book. So probably the illustrator, but I don't know if it shows you. Yes, Bob Harvey was the illustrator. So I'm assuming it's the same person who did the map. But so that's what we've got. But let's fire up our music here, and then we will get started, chat. And I need everyone to be on their toes because you will be deciding whether our ninja lives or dies. And so far, 3 of your decisions have ended up in Conan's death. So I hope you just keep that in mind. No pressure, but it's entirely, it's entirely up to you. Okay. So let's see. We had the last time I did the messenger for the soundtrack, but I think what I should probably do is Ghost of Tsushima. I know I've used that before, but I like that soundtrack. I will need someone to roll dice, Caro. Thank you for asking. Is that a volunteer that I hear?
So then
is that a volunteer on the horizon, perhaps? Maybe? Is that fair to say? Okay, hang on while we get through these ads, which we don't need. Okay, good. Lovely. All right, so Ghost of Tsushima. Here you go, Terry, so you can see what we're listening to.
Thank you. This is annoying because I had to move my mouse away. So now I'm like...
You will just need 6-sided dice, Carol. Real simple. You'll just need 6-sided dice. That's it. Okay. Let's play that. And I'll turn it down. Okay, how does that sound? Too loud, chat? Can people hear that okay, or is it too quiet or too loud? Sound is good. Hi, Live Suing. Okay, all right, here we go. So, the voyage passes uneventfully. The winged serpent gives the port city of Doomover a wide berth, and at last sails up the river Greybones to Tor, the press that Arv wishes he was published by. No, that's a whole other... Woo! Tor, call me. The city that invented Taurian fire, balls of exploding flames used in battles at sea. You were overjoyed to see Glyves, the ranger lord whose news started you on your long journey, on the wharf, and you welcome him aboard. The master lends the pair of you his cabin and goes in search of his favorite dive. Glavis's look of admiration as you tell him of your exploits almost embarrasses you, but he turns at last to matters of the moment. He has not been idle. He is now general of the Taurian army, ready to march against the Legion of the Sword of Doom at any time. You know that you have people who are a little overridden by awesome when they have to come up with the name the Legion of the Sword of Doom. Like, that works in any direction, right? The Doom of the Sword of Legion, the Legion of the Doom of Sword, like, it all works. Anyway, the Legion of the Sword of Doom. It's getting a little loud, so I'm going to turn this down a bit. Okay. He bids you farewell late that night, and the ship sets sail for Lemne on the Island of Plenty in the morning. You wonder if you will ever see him again, but are thankful to have bypassed the perils of the man march. You still have 400 leagues of ocean to cross, but you feel at one with the world. Several days later, you anchor in the bustling harbor of Lemne with its fishing boats and junks. The winged serpent will sail no further south on this trip. You will have to travel across the Island of Plenty to the southern port of Iga and take ship there for your homeland, the Island of Tranquil Dreams. Hardred's messenger sets out to tell certain safe people of your arrival, and later you accompany him to the home of a wealthy aristocrat, the widow of a local daimyo. On your way, you pass a group of men, samurai warriors, resplendent in red armor made of slats of lacquered wood. They carry long, curved swords, katana, with which they can cut through a man's neck like a knife through honey. The messenger tells you that they serve the great daimyo, or Lord Kiamo. You are graciously received by Singing Wind in her beautiful house on the highest of Lemne's 7 hills. You are enjoying the ceremony of the taking of tea with her when a messenger arrives. He bears a rod of ivory carrying the seal of Kiamo, and he entreats you to travel to the daimyo's palace, saying that the Island of Tranquil Dreams is in danger. Dun dun dun. The thought of returning home to find the island pillaged and despoiled horrifies you, and you respectfully take your leave of Singing Wind and set off towards Kiamo's palace. You jog onward following the road towards the palace of the daimyo Kiamo. The countryside is green and lush with many warriors. Green and lush with many warriors. who are all green armored. Woo, reset. The countryside is green and lush with many valleys, not warriors, valleys. Paddy fields fill most of the valleys, for the island of plenty is extensively farmed. Yes, nice lush warriors. Yes, yes. There is much activity on the roads, wagons laden with supplies, and troops of warriors, footmen, samurai, and cavalry pass you often. Yeah, they're the lushest warriors. They are all soldiers of Kiamo and wear red lacquered armor laced together with white ribbons. And in fact, I may have a picture of this. Let's see if I do. I have to find it quickly. I usually don't have to pull together a picture because, of course, we have a professional artist here doing something live. But
Wait, where?
once in a while. Yeah, wait, who's that? You know the drill. Okay. Let's see if that does it. Right. Images.
All I know is that I know nothing.
All I know is that I know nothing.
Yes.
Or as Iago said.
Yeah, all just dust in the winds, my dude.
Or as Iago said, all you know, I never more shall speak. Yeah.
What?
That's what Iago says, because he's a piece of crap. Okay. I do not have that image, sadly. So I will simply show you this image, chat. And I will full screen for a minute.
I will try something fancy, methinks.
Look at that.
If I can remember where I have the stuff for that.
I realize that we haven't done an illustration stream since I got my new camera, so it's like immediately able to focus in on what the book is doing, which is lovely.
I need to go get something real quick.
Okay. All right. The warriors are luscious, according to me, yes. Okay. So there's much activity in the roads. Wagons, blah, 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 blah. They are soldiers of Kiamo and wear red lacquered armor laced together with white ribbons. Their banners, strapped to the backs of the bannermen, or hatamoto, depict a four-pointed star within a quatrefoil, red on white. The symbols or mons of Lord Kiamo. Do you like them? Hey, what's up, It's Law? Do you like them live suing? I just got that banner, and that banner, of course, I had actually a year and a half ago. So, files from Athos Arts, banner done by someone I can't talk about, but did a great job with the banner, and yeah, they're going to be used during our Three Rivers Comic Con. Good to see you, Law. I hope all is well with you, Law. Okay, whoa, what is this? What is that? Ooh, all right, hold on. What do we have here?
Shinies.
Ooh, is this like are those like ink tips? Are you pen tips?
Yes.
Oh man, look at that.
I never use these.
Super fancy is right.
Like these are like leftovers from back from my LARPing days.
Bringing out the big guns. That's right. That's what we need.
Bring out the big guns.
Yeah, don't ever bring up the possibility of a weapon with Tara. Oh, really? Like this, for instance? All right. Well, as you're setting up your pen, so depict a four-pointed star within a quatrefoil, red on white, the symbol or mons of Lord Kiamo. It seems that war is at hand. After a time, the road forks. The right leads onto the mountain pass and the fortress of Kanokura, an important strongpoint. You take the less traveled road, which diverge in a yellow wood. You took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the leading to the palace of Kiamo in the mountains. You travel on alone for a while until you see the smoke of a village some way to the right, surrounded by paddy fields set before the foothills of the mountains. You jog towards the village and into the main square, surrounded by the few wooden houses that make up the village. You hope for food. It is the early afternoon, and you have been jogging continuously for some hours, but nobody is about. You pause in the village, looking around you. Your keen sense of hearing picks up a heavy sobbing as of someone in terrible grief from a nearby house. Opening the door, you see a small, weather-beaten man, his back bent by years of toil in the fields, comforting his wife, a rather large woman, red-faced and crying hopelessly. Don't know why we need to know that she's rather large, but okay. You ask what is happening. The man looks up in surprise, his face racked with grief. A look of hope sparks in his eyes as he looks you up and down. "Help us, sir," he says. "An evil Hanya and her servant, an old Bakemono, have come to live in a cave nearby and have been leeching us of our food and what little money we have." "Why have you not resisted," you ask, "or asked for help from the palace soldiery?" "The old Bakemono killed 4 of our young men at once, sir, and their cave is near the road. The Hanya has sorceress powers, sir, and seems able to detect anyone who passes along the road. No one dares to tell the palace, nor has anyone passed through or dallied here for any length of time save you, sir. The times are troubled, what with war in the south, and now... He almost breaks down into tears at this point. The Hanya has taken our daughter to be sacrificed in 2 days' time to the evil demon she worships. Baal, Lord of the Flies. Help us, noble lord, help us. That is a lot of names you just dropped on me all at once, my dude. You decide you must help them. Will you go to the cave and try to kill the beings and release the girl, or press on as fast as you can to the palace where you're needed and send a large detachment of soldiers back to do the job? They can be here within a day. All right, chat, so this is our first vote, and you can just tell me this in chat because we only have 2 choices. Do we go to the cave, try to kill the beings and release the girl, or do we press on as fast as we can to the palace where we're needed and send a large detachment of soldiers back to do the job? What should we do? Yeah, we've all killed Ball. Different Ball. So what do you think? Cave and girl or castle and guards? We have 1 vote for cave. Cave and girl or castle and guards? Cave and girl. Palace, this could be a ruse to distract you from your quest. Aha, is a clever ruse. All right.
By the way,
yes.
Bakemono means monster, and I believe Hanya is a type of theater mask.
Interesting.
With like teeth.
So an evil theater mask and her monster servant. No, I get that. That's cool. So, all right. So I have 2 votes for cave, 1 vote for castle. Anyone else going to jump in and vote here? 2 votes for cave, 1 for castle.
I should invest in some other
Go castle law.
tips.
So we've got 2 votes for cave, 2 votes for castle. 2-2. We need someone to break this tie. I'm going to last call this. Cave or castle?
Like these are better for writing than for drawing. Sadly.
The quick
These
poll
like
part of
very
AB3
thin lines.
Oh, so far it's looking pretty good though, as I thought would be the case. As you sort of trace them out more, it becomes even clearer. So it works.
Yeah,
right,
but like that's a problem. Like ideally, I wouldn't need to like keep running over the same lines.
Oh, I see. Well, it's starting. I mean, it's appearing. You just want to force a tiebreaker. Yeah, no, I know Effect Life, and I normally would use that if I had a lot of people, but since we've only, we're people are coming in now, so as we get more people, I'll switch over to that for sure. All right, I need someone to break this tie, folks. We got 2-2. 2-2. We need someone to break this tie. Cave or castle? Cave or castle? What's it going to be? And the kids are asleep says castle. All right, that is where you're going. Okay, you're going to head to the people. All right, sounds like a plan. They thank you and say you'll choose castle. All right, and Effect Life says castle as well. All right. They thank you and say that they will pray. This has to be, by the way, the first time I can remember in perhaps all of recorded human history that someone avoided what feels like a side quest to stay to the main quest. I am very admiring of the focus of this chat. Let me just say, I'm impressed. They thank you and say that they will pray that you get through to the palace. You promise them that the soldiers will be here within the day, and eating a hurried meal, you jog on up the mountain road to the palace. You leave the road and stealthily pick your way through the wooded mountainside, leaving no trace of your passage. Some way on, you rejoin the road unmolested. The road winds up the mountain, a sheer drop on one side. As evening approaches, you round the corner and sight the palace of Lord Kiamo. It lies in a shallow valley between 2 peaks, surrounded by magnificent ornamental gardens and a high stone wall punctuated by tall watchtowers. The main gate is hung with banners, emblazoned with the Mons of Kiamo, glittering in the sun. You approach the guards at the gate, clear your throat, and hand them the ivory token. Without a word, they lead you through the gates, past the large open area where samurai and other soldiers are practicing their swordsmanship and archery, and on into the ornamental gardens. Presently you are led into a richly furnished reception hall where you are asked politely to wait. Your guards bow and leave you. Presently a man in white robes adorned with stylized flowers of deep ultramarine comes into the hall. He has 2 swords, one long and the other short, tucked into a sash at his waist. He introduces himself as Onikaba, Kiamo's chief advisor, and tells you he has recently returned from the Island of Tranquil Dreams, where he has talked much with the Grandmaster of the Dawn. It seems they know of your success in retrieving the scrolls of Ketsuin and pray to Quan for your safe return. He leads you into a long chamber of polished wood where Lord Kiamo sits cross-legged in front of a low table covered in scrolls and maps. Armed samurai line the walls. He motions for you to sit beside him, and tea is served. He is a man in middle years, his shoulders and arms heavy with muscle from repeated practice with the sword. Okay. You tell Kiamo of the village and its problems. Immediately, he orders Onikaba to send a detachment of samurai to deal with it, and you relax. The villagers will be safe. He speaks. Your fame has come before you, ninja and avenger. The followers of Vile, Nemesis, and Vashro are howling for your blood, whilst the followers of other gods are laughing up their sleeves. All that is clean and wholesome on Orb is rejoicing. I congratulate you. And he bows before you. I like this dude. You thank him, and he continues. But all is not well here on the Island of Plenty. An evil daimyo, Jikyu, helped by his lieutenant, the master archer Akira, has grown in power. He has gathered many ronin and bandits to his banner. He also has an army of bakemono, or orcs, marching with him. Apparently they're calling them orcs, I guess is how they translated Terry here. These he has won over with the help of unholy allies. My spies report that emissaries from the priests of Nemesis and the monks of Vile have Don't you think it's a little on the nose? Who do you serve? Vile? Really? Who do you serve? Bad guy? I serve evil demon. Have promised Jikyu much aid if, after he has conquered the Island of Plenty, he invades the Island of Tranquil Dreams and destroys it utterly. With the support of the priests of Nemesis, the monks of Vile, and enough men, you could do it. Already he has subdued much of the south, and he is massing his forces even now, just beyond the fortress of Kanakura. I, my men, and the blessings of the god Eo, the Prince of Peace and Weal, are all that stand in his path. We were told of your coming, ninja. We need your help. You must penetrate the enemy camp and slay Jikyu. There is no other that can hold his alliance together. Not only is this to help us, but also to protect your homeland. Leave the scrolls of Ketsuin with us. The Grandmaster of the Dawn has sent a monk, Gorobai, to take them back should you fail in this mission, so that they cannot fall into enemy hands again. The Grandmaster said you would know him. He nods to his retainers who usher in the monk. You recognize the tall, powerful frame of Gorobai from the Temple of the Rock. He greets you and you embrace each other. It is good to see you again, Avenger, he says, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. Long have we prayed for you. You decide to set off on your quest on the morrow. You hand the scrolls of Ketsuin over to Gorobai. You are treated by the daimyo's healers and you sleep well. You may restore up to 5 endurance. We were already maxed out on endurance. All you have to do is ignore some people in trouble and tell the police to do it. And you too don't have to risk your body. No. The next day, Kiamo shows you the whereabouts of Jikyu's camp, and you don your ninja costume and set off. All right. After a day's journey through the mountains, night has fallen, and you are looking down on a myriad tiny lights, the camp of Jikyu's army. You descend from the foothills and wend your stealthy way across the open fields studded with wooded groves towards the camp. You come to a line of perimeter sentry pickets, each marked by a fire some 50 yards apart, with 2 guards at each. Your night vision is excellent, and you crawl soundlessly toward one, your black costume merging into the shadows of the night.
Oh.
You throw a stone... your blue costume, clearly.
Thank you.
You throw a stone onto the fire. A crack. The sentries glance for a moment at the fire and away again, their eyes momentarily blinded, and you glide past them like a ghost. Looks like this, chat. Just like that. Like as if you're on wheels, on a rolling chair. Soon you are at the outer edge of an enormous expanse of tents. In the center is a large, dark pavilion, unadorned save for a red flag fluttering at its top, almost certainly Jikyu's tent. Crouching low, you make your way inward, avoiding the night patrols, some of which are squat and misshapen with long arms ending in talons, the bakemono. Like a specter, you rise out of the night and catch a lone sentry with your garrote, soundlessly choking the life out of him. Putting on his armor and weapons, you walk openly to the large tent unchallenged. 2 guards stand... GOG talisman tent canceled. What? No?
What?
I don't think so.
What?
Talisman is on as normal, Echo, at 4 p.m. today. Should be. As far as I know, we're on for that. Okay. Where was I? Putting on his armor and weapons, you walk openly the large tent unchallenged. 2 guards stand at its front entrance, which is well lit. Now, chat, what are we going to do? Let's pop up our polls here. Will you creep round to the back of a tent, make a small incision and look in? Will you try to kill the 2 guards as quickly and as quietly as possible? Or will you approach them saying you are a messenger? So let's see. Let's put that stuff out. Welcome back, live soon. All right. So once again, that was... Okay. Yeah, hang on a second. This one I'm actually going to put for the poll. So, what should we do? Should we to the back of the tent, incision, look in? Should we try to kill the 2 guards quickly and quietly? Or should we approach them saying we are a messenger? All right, here we go, chat. Hang on a second. I do not seem to... Let's try that again. Huh. This doesn't seem to be activating... Does it do last call? It does last call, but it hasn't activated the thing.
Computer says no.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be opening up the... Doesn't actually seem to be opening up the command. I don't know why that is. It's doing last call, but it's not doing open or close. No, it doesn't look like it. I'm looking at the console window and it doesn't seem to be. But it actually doesn't seem to be noticing at all that it's even doing anything. Let me try to... Yeah. All right, let me try to restart it. All right, let's try that again. Oh, okay, that was really delayed. Okay, hold on. It's not open right now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Ignore that. That was super delayed. Right, I saw that, which is definitely useful, so. All right, let's see. Let me just test. Let me just try something quickly. All right, can someone just quickly vote? No, because if it was auto-modded, it wouldn't pop up just now. Okay, good. So it's working. That's working. Okay, let me try. So, yeah, actually, I hadn't noticed that. You're right, Effect. That's actually a really useful... That default to what should we do or say. Okay, so let's try this again. Creep around to the back of the tent. So, but because creep, Automod didn't like creep. Oh God, I don't understand why on earth would Automod give a damn about the word creep. Really? I love how it allows kill. That's fine, but certainly not creep. Jeez.
Oh, fun fact! In the German dub of Naruto, which is historically one of the worst anime dubs in, like, ever, they censored out any mention of death or killing. Which is kind of weird in a story about assassins and murder.
I was going to say, that's hard, right?
So they replace it with stuff like vanishing, hiding, leaving, And it created these really, really absurd things in the plot. It's just...
That's funny. And that's
sad
a good...
is what it is.
That's yeah, it is. But that's a good call. I will mod Arbot Plus. But in the meantime, okay. Okay, our bot is now a moderator. Lovely. There we go. Now we got it working. Let me pop this up. And just give me a second whilst I adjust that. Okay, there we go. All right, there it is. It's all working. We're all fine here now. Thanks. How are you? Okay, so there we go. Move around to the back of the tent, make an incision, look in, try to kill the 2 guards quickly and quietly, or approach them saying we're a messenger. So you can get in your vote right now. Right now, we have 3 votes for moving around to the back of the tent. Yeah, that's a good call, Effect. I have to say, I give credit to Effect Life for really understanding UI super well, so that I didn't specifically ask about defaulting to what should we do say, but you're right, it's a good thing to do, because probably that's what the question that gets asked like 80% of the time anyway, so thank you for doing that.
No. Which way?
Which way? That's true. There is which way to go. But I mean, like, in terms of, you know, there are sometimes other options like what button to push, but most of the time that covers a lot of it. Yeah, exactly. Who is this? What's your operating number? It's a boring conversation anyway. All right, we're going to last call this. Minimize that window. We're going to last call this. Last call. Well, I mean, I think a lot of this has come out pretty well, Effect Life, you know, from what I've seen. So I have been most grateful that this is that this is working. So my favorite Arvany Witch. Actually, my favorite of all of the emotes, I think, is probably Arvany Smug. But I do like of course, all the emotes that Terry did are amazing. I love all of them. Arvany Smug, I just happen to like because I love the expression. But Arvany Witch that Kilobyte did is great. Arvany Hype is a classic, naturally. So there are a lot of good ones. If we get partnered or if they open up to affiliates, I want to be able to open up like more emote slots. We have one that we've been sort of just holding on to, which is Arvany Blown, which is basically Fifi with her mind blown, which is another good one, and there's other ones. So you got a lot of inspiration in the original. Yes, and Netowin did a great job on that original Arvbot, and you know, that's again, like, at some point hopefully he'll be able to get back to actively supporting it. But regardless, I'm grateful that I have tech-savvy people that are able to help with this stuff, because it really makes a huge difference. Okay, move round to the back of the tent. Okay, so we're going to do the whole stealthy get more information thing. Without a sound, you work your way to the back of the tent, and using Cassandra's dagger, tear a small hole in the canvas and look through. Inside, it is large and spacious, lit by several lanterns and littered with the paraphernalia of a commander on the march. 2 men are poring over a large map on a table. One is big and bulky, arrogantly handsome. The other tall and lean, a curiously shaped longbow slung on his back. The handsome man says in a rich, mellow voice, "No, Akira, it must be the pass." The other replies, "But surely, my lord Jikyo, Kiamo will be expecting that." And so the discussion goes on. Now, will you widen the hole and hurl a shuriken at Jikyo? Place a poisoned needle in your bamboo breathing tube. We do not have poison needles, so we can't do that. Although I kind of wish we did, because I feel like we've been asked 50 times if we want to use poison needle for things, but we don't have it. Or wait for a better opportunity. Perhaps Akira will leave the room. So basically, this one you can tell me, you know what, I'll use this double pole thing. Just to, we're going to see how this works. So I'm going to use this double poll thing quickly. So the choices are, chat, choice 1, widen the hole and hurl a shuriken, or choice 2, wait for a better opportunity, perhaps Akira will leave the room. And I've just opened up a quick poll. So if you do vote 1, it means you're voting to throw a shuriken at Jikyo. And if you vote 2, it means you're waiting for Akira to leave the room, waiting for a better opportunity.
It really bothers me that the pickup in the, like, the image that is, like, actually streamed from me in the stream is, like, quite blurry.
Is that, I mean,
Like, I have just a cheap webcam to work with here, so there are no focusing options, sadly.
Do you know what resolution your webcam is at?
A low one.
Enough.
No, evidently not enough.
Evidently not enough.
But maybe... because it looked fine when I tested it in OBS earlier.
Yeah, I would look in OBS too, because OBS allows you to change the resolutions of the cameras. That'll affect other programs as well. I mean, that said, I'm loving the illustration for sure. All right, we have right now, it looks like we've got, let me last call that. It looks like we have got 4 votes for Wait for Better Opportunity and 1 vote for Shuriken. Oh, yeah, the bars are the same length. I noticed that. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, so that'll have to get fixed. But, I mean, we see the number. So the number is the thing that matters at the moment, but yeah. Because this is the first time I think I used your quick poll thing. So this is the first time I'm trying it out. All right.
Sadly, Zoom does not have a ton of options for...
Zoom doesn't, but you should be able to do it in OBS, though.
Yeah, I'm not using OBS, though.
No, but I'm saying if you... No, but what I'm saying is if you change it in OBS, it affects all programs the camera's working in. Because my camera would look a certain way, and like my webcam in Zoom, and I could adjust it in OBS, and then it would be picked up by Zoom that way.
I do not get it.
So if you open up OBS, you can change the camera's resolution, and that will then be locked in by the camera so that when you open it up in Zoom or whatever other program, it should be that resolution. Assuming it's the same as my webcam that I used to use. In the meantime, we're going to close this poll, and everyone has decided to wait for a better opportunity. All right. As you wait, your keen senses pick up something strange about GQ. The outline of his head seems to blur, and a hideous demonic visage is superimposed over it for a brief moment. Oh, God. Was it a trick of the poor light, or is GQ not what he appears to be, you ask yourself. Then Akira looks up straight at the hole you have made, his throat exposed, and his eyes widen in shock. You have only a moment in which to act. Will you hurl a shuriken, if you have one, and we do have a shuriken, I think. We've got 7 of them, actually. Will you hurl a shuriken at Akira's throat? Will we leap into the tent and spit a needle at Akira's throat? We don't have that. Leap in hurl a shuriken at GQ, or spit a needle at GQ. We can't do that. So basically our choices are hurl a shuriken at Akira's throat, or hurl a shuriken at GQ. Now that's interesting that they're giving us the choice. So let me clear this. So again, choice 1 is to hurl a shuriken at Akira, and choice 2 is to hurl a shuriken at GQ. Yeah, something feels off to me. I wonder if they're actually transposed. I wonder if Akira is actually GQ. I don't know. It's just interesting to me that they're giving us the choice. So what do you think? Vote, throw it at GQ or throw it at Akira? Akira is 1, Joki is 2.
Well, this image is done. Also, can you recapture my thing? Like me toggling the options kind of zoomed out further?
Yes, give me 1 sec. Yes. Also, I love the expression, just sort of like, okay, this is here are the scrolls, and this is what I do with this. It's pretty funny. Okay, I want to zoom in and make sure that I don't get stuff cut off. Can you?
Well, like the problem is that I'm working with a DNA format, and the window from the stream is not. That one is longer than.
I can't zoom in.
So you have to cut off something. You had something cut off before that either, so it's so that's fine.
Yeah, I'll try to cut something. I don't want to cut anything
like
off.
If you have to cut off the left side.
Cut out the left side? Okay, that's what I'm doing actually. I think we've got almost. Okay, and then a little more. There we go. That looks pretty close, I think.
Okay, good. So
Okay.
this one is done.
Look at that. she's just like, okay. All right. I love that picture. This is an interesting one, Terry. Do you want to do the demon, the potential, maybe it's a demon, maybe it's a person inside this tent talking to a general with Conan looking and being like, trying to decide which one to throw the shuriken at? Because that could be entertaining. Or not. You don't have to.
Can you describe those two dudes for me again?
Sure. Let me, just as soon as I find
I
the
got
number
ink
came
on
from.
my table.
Oh, no.
On my fingers. Ooh.
Oh, on your fingers. Well. Okay, here we go. So one of them is big and bulky, arrogantly handsome. That's allegedly Jikyu, the one who then has this big demonic visage that shows up on his head, it seems like, for a moment. And then the other one is supposedly Akira, tall and lean with a curiously shaped longbow slung on his back. And we're looking through a hole in a tent at the two of them. So, right. Okay, so we've got those. So what do you think, chat? We have 2 votes so far to throw at Jikyu. So we've got Jikyu, and Akira is 1. Jikyu is 2.
Okay, but let's go. Skipping a page then.
Because, and the reason I mention this is the fact that Jikyu has this like demonic thing makes me wonder about what the deal is with Jikyu. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm interested to see about that. So just keep that in mind, chat. Something's weird about the fact that they brought up the fact that Jikyu had some demonic thing going on. So I don't know what the effect of the shuriken are on the. I don't know. So 1 is for Akira, and 2 is for Jikyu.
Like the name Akira just makes me think of Tetsuo! Kaneda! Tetsuo!
Yep.
Ah!
All right, so people want to vote for, people are voting for Jikyu. All right, I'm going to last call this. Akira and Jikyu in a tent, their eyes wide. Yep. Oh man, the episode that keeps on giving. All right. Okay. So we are going to throw the thing at Jikyu. All right.
We can't do that. He's explicitly described as being handsome, so we can't harm him.
You can't harm the handsome one, who's possibly a demon. Suddenly you rip the canvas.
Just a bonus.
Yeah, exactly. Suddenly you rip the canvas open and jump into the tent to be greeted by gasps of astonishment. With blurring speed, you hurl a shuriken at Jikyu's throat. Your throw is accurate, but somehow, incredibly, it has little effect, leaving only a slight gash to mark its passage. In a moment, Akira has an arrow ready in his bow, and Jikyu has shouted for the guards. You manage to avoid Akira's first arrow, but soon the guards are upon you, and whilst you dispatch them with a series of kicks and punches, Akira has sent another arrow straight through your neck and out the other side. It is all over, and you die in a pool of blood.
Yep.
Well, and in case people are curious, the reason that this is the last of these particular game books we do is that it tends to be...
die.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Welp. So apparently we threw at the wrong person. That's, yeah.
Let's hope this is not one of those situations like King's Quest style, where like you didn't choose that one item 50
minutes ago. I know. Or I was thinking about...
So you can't win this.
Exactly. Just saying I was against that. Yes, Keister. We killed Conan again. Or the other thing is, you know, what, like, oh God, what is it called? The House of Hell, the game book we did. They did those before you were doing illustrations, though, where there's this one section where, like, it literally is, there's probably 15 different entries, and it's basically a dead end. Like, you get into that area, and you just die automatically, no matter what you choose, out of the 15 choices. So, exactly, like, engage finger bookmark. Yep, exactly. All right. So we're going to jump back. The save point was 84, but pretty much we already made, I think, the same decisions. So I'm just going to jump forward to the decision that we just made, which is about whether we're hurling a shuriken at Akira or Jukyu. So this time we're going to hurl it at Akira because literally there's only been one other choice that we already made, and I think chat was already definitively in favor of making it. So, all right, so we're going to throw this instead, death in hand, we're going to throw this instead at Akira. Suddenly, you rip the canvas open and leap into the tent to be greeted with gasps of amazement. With blurring speed, you send a shuriken spinning towards Akira. It rips into his throat, tearing it open, and he keels over backwards, gurgling horribly as blood fountains from his neck. He is dead within moments. All right, well, that was effective. Jikyu's face is a mask of astonishment mixed with a trace of fear as he spits out one word full of malice and hate. Ninja, he says. All right. I know, right, Marinda? Jikyu bellows in rage, and then a startling transformation takes place. Before your very eyes, he assumes what must be his natural form. Oh, wow, they have a picture of this. I wonder if I can pull a picture of this up. You know that thing you said about being handsome, Terry? That may not be accurate. Just saying. There we go. I do have a picture of it. All right, chat. Here, I'm going to pull it up for you. Actually, wait. I can just see it, can't I? Yes, I can. All right. So here is what you see. Just give me a second whilst I capture it.
Then he went Super Saiyan.
There we go. Okay.
What even is perspective?
All right, here we go, chat. This is what he looks like. Oh, yeah. That guy. Where once stood a man, now stands some demonic beast. It is man-shaped, but there any resemblance ends. Its skin is it does look like the thing. Its skin is a dull red corner. It looks at you and says, "It's clobbering time." No. Its skin is a dull red color with patches of ochre-colored warty flesh. Its legs are short and powerful, supporting an enormous barreled torso. The arms are long and heavy, ridged with a powerful alien musculature, ending in three-fingered hands with long curving talons. Swamp Thing has let himself go. Yeah. Its head is squat and wide without a neck. It is split by a great lipless gash that opens to reveal triple rows of razor-sharp teeth glistening wetly. Boy, the author was real happy about describing this. It goes on, though. Its breath, fetid and rank, steams from its mouth and nostrils, two flat holes. The eyes are deep pits glowing redly with malevolent evil. You stand frozen in horror. In one bound it is upon you, its talons biting into your waist. The thing lifts you into the air as if you were made of paper. You struggle desperately, but its strength is enormous and it pulls you inexorably towards its stinking, snapping maw. Now, will you reach into your costume, open the file containing the blood of Mardo, and hurl it into its mouth? Or will you use inner force and drive an iron fist punch in between its eyes? Now, we do have the blood of Mardo. We did get this. We had to call on our god to get it because we almost got killed by the creature that had it. But are we going to use this blood, or are we going to drive an iron fist punch between the eyes of this beast? So 1 is use the blood of Mardo, and 2 is iron fist punch. Quick poll is open, so vote 1 or vote 2. It sounds too oddly specific. Yeah, it does seem very specific. It's like supposedly Kids Are Asleep, the most potent poison of all time, supposedly. Like it's literally the blood of a god or the blood of a demigod. So it's, pretty rough for people who take it. I don't recommend it. I'd recommend not consuming the blood of Mardo. Well, yeah, I mean, I understand, but, I feel like when we're being pulled into the maw of a deadly beast, this might be the best time. I mean, this is a demon, right? Like,
not an anime demon, though.
It is true, though. Can you imagine, like, you're fighting, like a, like a boar or something, like an old injured boar? And you're just like, I'm going to use the blood of
more
Mardo.
like Morrigan from...
Yep, from Dragon Age.
No, specifically not that one. Darkstalkers? Was that the name of the game?
Oh gosh, that's a deep cut. Yeah, I remember Darkstalkers. Yeah.
Am I thinking of? I don't remember. Let me ask Le Google.
Yes, Kids Are Asleep confirms that this is the case from Darkstalkers. And Kids Are Asleep should know because Kids Are Asleep is also an expert in the other Morrigan from Dragon Age, which is the one I thought. Also from Marvel vs. Capcom. Yep.
Yeah, no, because like that is like the quintessential anime demon, basically.
I have not thought about Darkstalkers in so long. That was a good fighting game.
I have never played that, but I do know that
it's a good fighting
because
game.
that is what all of the anime demons are based on.
Yeah.
This design. That's like the iconic one.
Iron Spike against a rock monster seems... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the iron punch into the middle of the forehead of the rock beast seems, I don't know, unlikely. All right, so last call. Looks like chat is saying we should use the oddly specific blood that we have. Last call. Going once, going twice. All right. So we are going to throw it into its mouth. Let's see what happens. You draw your arm back and hurl the container at the demonic gaping maw. Treat that attack as a shuriken roll. I'll tell you how to do that in a minute, Caro. Its defense is 4 as it divines your purpose and tries to close its enormous jaws. Okay, so we have to treat this attack as a shuriken roll. So for a shuriken roll, let me pull up my shuriken thing. Damn it. Shuriken roll. Where are you? There we go. Okay, so you're given a defense number for your target. Roll 2 dice, and if the score is higher than the defense number, you will have hit your target. So you need to roll 2 d6s, and your goal is 4 or above. Okay? Actually, you're 5 or above. So you can't tie, so you need to go above. So you need a 5 to 12 on 2 dice. All right, Carol? Don't miss. Eight. All right. That is definitely higher. Okay. Good job. If you succeed, turn to 3. Okay. The phial of the blood of Mardo hurtles into its mouth just as the jaws snap shut. The creature arches its back and spreads its arms wide, dropping you. It staggers back, shuddering horribly and roaring uncontrollably. It spins around, flailing the air, and crashes to the ground, writhing. It begins to smoke. Huge boils pustulate on its body and burst, spurting plumes of yellow, stinking ichor and noxious gases as it dies. The guards rush in and stop short, transfixed with horror. At that moment, you dart out of the tent and are lost in the night, your mission complete. But it will leave forever a chill of horror engraved on your heart. You. Good news, we defeated it. Bad news, ugh. But I mean, it's a demon, right? Like, I think, wow. Woo. All right, we did it on that score. A day later, it is evening, and you are safe in the polished wooden hall of Kiamo's palace. Kiamo is there with Onikaba and Gorabai. You tell them the events of your mission, and they listen with amazement. When you have finished, Kiamo says, Jikyu was an Arabaru Kami, a demon from hell able to assume the form of a man. That would explain his power over bandits and bakemono. No wonder the priests of Nemesis and the monks of Vile were prepared to aid him. I will always be in your debt. Yeah, good news, success. Bad news, you need therapy. I will always be in your debt, ninja. Already his army has broken up, and my men are scattering them to the 5 winds even now. The land is free again, and the road to Ego open. You look troubled. Perhaps you need to rest and talk to one of my therapists. No. Rest as my honored guest here tonight, ninja. Tomorrow, you and Gorabai can travel south to Iga and take ship to the island of Tranquil Dreams. Gorabai turns to you and bows. Here, take the scrolls, for you have carried them always in the face of death, and it is your honor to return them to the Temple of the Rock at our home. Dude, you could have left and done this while we were taking care of this guy. What the heck? Would have been all over but the shouting. Instead, he's like, oh, I was just waiting for you, boss. You thank him, and Kiamo says, My bannermen, Hatamoto Hizen and 6 samurai shall be your honor guard. The guest house in the palace gardens has been prepared for you. May the blessing of Eo go with you. All right.
Ah, yes, having an honor guard as a secret assassin who needs to stay hidden at all times.
Yeah, an honor guard.
Well thought out.
Seems reasonable. Okay. So, Hatamoto Hizen and 6 samurai lead you through the ornamental gardens to the guest house in the palace grounds. And I think I should probably add a save point after that, by the way. Okay. In the palace grounds, you cross a tranquil pond covered in white lilies and pass through a sweet-smelling glade filled with flowering plants and trees arranged carefully, giving an effect of ordered beauty. The setting sun bathes the gardens of the palace in deep crimson light. A feeling of peace and calm comes over you. Presently, you follow a stone path that winds between 2 stone lanterns to the red and black lacquered double doors of the guest house. It is a pagoda-like structure with a tiled roof and paper-thin walls. Hizen leads you through the doors into a lavishly furnished room with ornately carved chests, wall hangings, and screens adorned with simple watercolor paintings of birds, flowers, and landscapes. Yeah, the magic words, savvy, gamey. Yep. You follow him through a sliding door into an inner courtyard where a fountain tinkles quietly into a basin that overflows into a stone pool. Looking up, you see the moon rising. Hizen goes on through another sliding door on the left into a larger room where a long, low table is laden with, here's the real reward, chat, steaming bowls of rice, crisp fried vegetables, and strips of marinated raw fish. Hell yeah. Suddenly you realize how hungry you are, and you sit cross-legged, your back to 2 sliding doors on a tatami or mat to eat. Hizen sits with you and tells you that 3 of the samurai will be on guard outside the guest house at all times, 1 on patrol, the others at the front and back of the house. Rest and recuperate, ninja, he says. Indeed, you are tired after your long ordeal. A young girl in white robes serves tea and retires to a kitchen, although through one of the 3 sliding doors in the room. Ahead of you, there is an alcove in which rests a print of a samurai warrior slaying a large winged and clawed serpent. After you have eaten, Hizen shows you to a room beside the kitchen lit by an hour candle, where a steaming bath and a futon, it says, or mattress, thanks, I know what a futon is, are waiting for you. He departs.
So they translate futon, but not bakemono.
Yeah, I don't, yeah. He departs wishing you a good night's sleep. The bath is invigorating and you feel refreshed and cleansed as you lie down on the futon to sleep, a pleasant fatigue stealing over you, despite the fact that futons are incredibly uncomfortable, as anyone who's ever been in college knows. No, I just made that last part up.
I'm assuming that, like, actual futons, not like what they call futons over here,
are actually comfortable. I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, maybe.
I hope so, because, God. You know, kids are asleep knows what I'm talking about. There's a reason that these futons for college kids doubles as a sofa. Like, okay, the reason is because you can sit on it, and that's because it's really hard. Anyway, soon you were deep in sleep and dreaming. A vivid image comes into your mind. You were on a featureless expanse of nothingness. A tiger's head floats before you. Its fur is pure white, and its eyes, completely blue, gaze serenely upon you, filling you with quiet strength and calm. Suddenly, its mouth opens, revealing a gaping maw lined with many razor-sharp, blood-stained teeth, and it roars. A rushing wind blows forth, smothering you in a fetid, choking stench, and another face grows out of the yawning blackness of the mouth. This is dark, this book. Completely blotting out the white tigers and its blue, blue eyes, still serene and somehow imbued with tranquility. Ahead of you now is the face of a ninja, the black hood obscuring all features, save two black eyes glinting malevolently. You wake with a start, and as consciousness returns, you find yourself sitting bolt upright, bathed in sweat and breathing hard. The night is still and deathly quiet. The candle, still flickering, tells you that you have been asleep for about 3 hours. Will you return to sleep knowing your tired body needs rest to recuperate, or get up to talk to the guards? Some dream has woken you from slumbers, chat. So we're going to find out here. I'm going to pop up this poll. So again, choice 1 is go back to sleep or get up to talk to the guards after this dream, warning, who knows. So go ahead and get your vote.
Now I'm hungry. Like,
what's that?
now I'm hungry. Like, I'm a really big fan of just like white rice. It's just...
Rice is good.
Oh, yeah, rice is good.
I agree.
Like my go-to dish when I want like something warm, but like I'm too lazy to cook something complicated. What I call lazy rice is where I just boil rice, but instead of water, I use broth.
Okay.
So that it gets more flavor.
And you call it lazy
and then
rice.
I just and then I fry whatever vegetables I still have in my fridge, and 2 fried eggs, like with runny yolks.
It's a kind of egg foo young in a way.
I have no idea.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Hey, chat, we need some more votes here. So Caro has voted. Are you going to vote? So again, 1 is your vote is to go back to sleep. 2 is after this dream that has bothered you to get up and talk to the guards. That's vote 2. And that does sound like awesome rice. All right, here come the votes. Here come the votes. Da, 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 da. All right. Yeah, he'll never believe this dream. Or maybe it's just like, everything okay out here? Did you see a bloody mouthed tiger? I had this vision. Like, all right, going once. Going twice. All right. The winner is option 2. So, I'm going to get up to talk to the guards. You get to your feet and don the costume of the ninja before walking to the door and sliding it open. The eyes of the dying, clawed, and winged serpent seem to glare at you knowingly from the print opposite, the colors like shadows in the faint glow of your candle. You cross the room and, sliding open another door, step into the inner courtyard. The pool, rippling gently, reflects the pale light of the moon as it lends the cloudless night a ghostly luminescence. The air is filled with the rich scent of the ornamental gardens and the sound of insects and bullfrogs. It is warm and close. There is no breeze. Everything is quiet and peaceful, but the night seems full of tense expectancy. Silently, like a shade, you cross the courtyard, slide open the door, step in, and slide it shut in one fluid motion. You are in almost complete darkness in the first room of the guest house. You stand as still as a rock, your senses straining, reaching out into the almost tangible blackness ahead. Alarms seem to ring wildly in your head, but you find nothing. After a while, you move on. By memory, you thread your way quietly through the furnishings to the front door, ears straining and spine tingling. You feel charged with nervous anticipation, yet all seems still, and you can sense nothing unusual in the room. You are about to open the door when for some reason you pause to listen, although you know all should be well here in the palace grounds of the only shogun for 300 years. This must be the most heavily guarded place on all Lemne. You hear nothing save a leaden sigh of boredom. You pull the door open just a little and look out. One of the samurai is leaning against a pillar, arms folded, humming to himself, as the patrolling samurai continues around the house. You step out and he turns, a brief look of horror on his face as he sees your ninja costume, before he smiles with greeting and not a little relief as he recognizes you. "What brings you out in the dawn hours, sir? Only the dead and poor unfortunate guards like myself walk at this hour." Of course, if you weren't leaning against a pillar, humming to yourself, my guy. Anyway. At this, you begin to feel foolish and curse yourself for behaving like a frightened rabbit. You relax like a taut bowstring that is unstrung. You tell the guard you couldn't sleep and stand deep in meditation until you notice your complete stillness and detached manner are making the guard feel uncomfortable. So you nod good night and return into the house. If you lean, you can clean. Exactly. You move from the light of the moon to the blackness of the interior and to the door that leads to the courtyard. You pull at the handle to slide it open, but it only moves a fraction before jamming. You try again, but it won't move. Uh-oh. See? See? We were right. In an instant, all of your senses are alive, and the hairs on your neck prickle with anticipation and suspicion. You crouch and turn quietly, convinced something is wrong. Then a sound reaches you from outside, a quiet but sharp sound suddenly cut off, as if something metal had been dropped and then muffled before it could begin ringing. Will you go outside and investigate the noise, hide behind one of the chests in the corner of the room, or, if you have the skill of lockpicking, and we do, try to open the jammed door? So, are we going
jammed,
to...
Then what is lockpicking gonna do?
Well, presumably we could figure out like if it was jammed by like a bar of wood or if it was actually something stuck in the lock, I guess. But I don't know. Okay, so do we go outside and investigate the noise? Do we hide behind a chest in the room? Or one of the chests? Of the room? Or do we try to open with lock picking, which is how it spells it, not how I spell it. All right, chat. Poll is open. What do we do?
Can't wait to go out for food again once this lockdown is over.
Yep.
We have like this really nice quote unquote Chinese restaurant not far from where I live, which is like huge. It's enormous with like this huge buffet of like various Asian foods and non-Asian foods, and they just have everything. And it's so good.
I've been to a place like that in Chinatown. It's really good, yeah.
And like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet too. So.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yes.
That's good stuff. The door was not previously locked. No, Geester. That was the door we came through to begin with. So see, our dream was prophetic. I knew there was some reason that they did all that. That was a lot of writing to be like, nope, false alarm. Okay, we're going to last call this. Yeah, also, and dim sum, which I still think the best dim sum that you get in America is in the Pacific Northwest, but we have had some in the Northeast also. So as more of these things open up around the place where we've just moved, the great place about where we are is it's like within 10 minutes of everything, it feels like. And so we've had some decent sushi around here, just as obviously just takeout for right now. But yeah, I love restaurants. Ever since I was a kid, I loved going to restaurants. And so as these things begin to become more available and open, and not just in the outside, but yeah, I'm super excited for that as time goes on. Dim sum in Boston, yeah. Boston has a lot of, all kinds of different kinds of foods. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Boston in general, but there was a great Ethiopian place in Boston called Addis Red Sea. And it was, I can't remember if it was on Com Ave. It might have been in Com Ave. Commonwealth Avenue, but it was a really, really great place. I don't even know if it's still open. Okay. All right, we're going to try to...
Wait to go out for ramen again.
Yes. Oh, ramen?
Oh
yeah.
my God. Like, I'm so lucky to live so close to Düsseldorf, which has like all the authentic Japanese food, because a lot of Japanese people live there. Like,
Oh,
actually,
okay, that's cool.
it's like one of the largest like Japanese communities outside of Japan.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of Japanese industry there. So.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
So
yeah. No,
you can get a lot of like allegedly authentic Japanese food there.
I see. Allegedly,
Nice.
but we
Well,
know.
I mean, it's always like can't tell unless you had like the actually real stuff
Right.
in
Yeah.
Japan, you know.
Yep. I hear.
So
You went to a place near BU. My first teaching job, Keister, was at BU. I actually, right out of when I got my doctorate, for 1 year, I taught at BU, and then came down to St. John's, where I've been ever since. Okay. You reach into and that was on ComAv. A lot of BU is on ComAv, so it might be the same place. You reach into a pocket of your costume. Oh no, you were talking about dim sum. I was talking about Ethiopian. Never mind. Anyway, no, there was some very good authentic Chinese food in Boston as well, and there was a little Chinatown, essentially equivalent area, not as big as the one in New York, but in Boston. You reach into a pocket of your costume and draw out a long, flat strip of metal. You insert it between door and wall and move it up. It comes up against something and you give a little push. Whatever it is falls off the other side of the door with a quiet clatter and lands on the floor of the inner courtyard. Dropping to rest on your haunches, you slide the door open and spin through, your senses still screaming with a thrill of unseen danger. As you close the door, you see a short length of metal with a hook at either end on the floor. Somebody must have deliberately jammed it shut from the courtyard. Remember how we heard this was the most freaking secure place in all of Lemne? Yeah, sure. You know who's skeptical about that? Jelinek, right there. You can see. That is the face of a skeptical person.
Skeptinek.
I know, right? Triffid, they keep referring to it as costume, but it's strange to me that, anyway. You turn to scan the inner courtyard and the edges of the roof when you hear a muffled sound from the room you have just come from, a faint scraping. Perhaps not a sound at all. What will you do? You may wish to scale the wall of the inner courtyard to the roof, an easy climb for which you do not need the skill of climbing. So we could do that. You could scale the wall of the inner courtyard. You may press your back against the wall, melting in the shadows to the right of the door you've just come through, or open the door and go back into the first room of the house as quickly and as quietly as possible. I don't 100% know why we would do that, but so let me post this up here. So we could scale the wall of the inner courtyard to the roof. We could
Getting tired.
Thank you, by the way, also Effect Life, for making it so when I tab out, it jumps the question back to the beginning, so I don't have to go back and do that myself. That's super helpful, so thank you. Press our backs against the wall, melting into the shadow. Shadows to the right of the door we have just come through, or open the door, go back to the
everybody walks a dinosaur. On the floor, everybody walks a dinosaur.
Oh, I remember that. I can't remember who the group was that did that though. Of the house.
Well, I remember it from the Super Mario movie. So.
From what?
From the Super Mario movie.
Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. Right. Well, it was jammed, but using that thing, there was something on the other side that we were able to move out of the way. So lockpicking just gave us the tools that we needed, I think, basically, Carol. Oh, I said that this thing, when I tab out of the choice, like if it's a long writing, like scale the wall, blah, 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 it jumps back to the beginning of the line so I can read it again without having to go up and manually scroll all the way back to the beginning of the entry. So that's awesome that you did that. So that's what we got, chat. Do we scale the wall of the inner courtyard to the roof? Do we press our back against the wall, melting in the shadows to the right of the door we just came through? Or open the door and go back to the first room of the house as quickly and quietly as possible? So what are we going to do?
Yep, this pen is empty.
So far we've got pressing our
Love
back.
this. It's not like these pens aren't expensive or anything.
Oh, the pen is empty, really?
Yeah, I have like these special ink pens from Faber-Castell, which are amazing, but like the extra thick ones that I use for filling out spaces, they don't last super long. But so far I haven't found a good alternative to these.
So they're great, but not long-lasting is basically the problem.
Yeah. Like the regular ones are, but like not the thick one.
Mm-hmm.
Like also the problem with the thick one is it has like a felt tip pen. This is a pointy one, and the more you use it, the blunter it gets, which is really annoying.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I assume you can't resharpen it, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't, like, you couldn't.
I've tried before, but
it doesn't work.
No, yeah, it's just too fragile, basically. It's like, yeah, okay, then it's like 0.4.
It's like a glass weapon. It does lots of damage and breaks immediately, like, you know.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right, chat. We're going to last call this. This is perfect, this soundtrack for this, by the way. All right, going once.
Now I want some ramen.
Going twice.
And like, I mean the actual, like the real stuff, not like...
No, I get it.
The store-bought.
Not the 50
like,
cents for
brick
3
noodles.
packs. Yeah, exactly. What good is a glass dagger? Niven, yep. All right. We're going to press our back against the wall and melt into the shadows, all right?
We have a visitor.
Hello, Lorelai. Hi, Lorelai. Hello. Lorelai. Hello.
Camera.
Hi. Hello, Lorelai.
It's the opposite of the camera.
Yay, Lorelai. Woo! You just see a cute furry neck. Hello, there's the face. Lorelai's like, I'm out. Okay, so...
Oh, the music is gone.
All right, so we're going to press our back against it. So we must make a fate roll. Now, to make a fate roll, whenever you ask to make a fate roll, you roll 2 dice, and we are going to add or subtract your fate modifier. If the score is 7 to 12, we're lucky, fate has smiled on you. If the score is 2 to 6, you're unlucky, and fate has turned her back on you. So we're looking for a 7 to 12 here, Caro, on 2 dice. Let's make it happen.
It's 10 minutes
6
to 9 p.m.
Yep. Fate has turned her back on us. Okay. You wait, poised to strike anything that comes to the door, quiet as a mouse, your spine tingling and your breathing soundless and shallow. There is no sound other than the light tinkle of the courtyard fountain and the chirruping of the crickets. Suddenly, there is a tearing sound behind you. You step forward, but the blade of a sword rips through the wall and slides across the side of your ribs, parting the flesh and drawing blood. Lose 3 endurance. Damn it. If you're still alive, we are, you gasp in pain and whirl. No, that's fine. For a brief moment, the blade seems to shimmer like water, laced with ribbons of black in the creamy moonlight, and it is gone. Will you jump up and climb onto the roof surrounding the inner courtyard, open the door and roll into the room beyond, or drive a winged horse kick through the wall, now stained with your blood, approximately 1 foot above the hole? All right, so... That last one, by the way, is metal AF, but I don't know whether that's, you know, we should be doing that. So, basically, do we jump up and climb onto the roof? Do we open the door and roll into the room beyond? Drive a winged horse kick through the wall. 1 foot above the hole. All right, what's it going to be, chat? Hey, welcome back, Echo. Okay, there we go. So, do we jump up and climb into the roof? Do we open the door and roll into the room beyond? Or drive a winged horse kick through the wall, approximately 1 foot above the hole?
Is any chamber you are in that Echo is also in? Is that an echo chamber?
I see what you've done there, and I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter. Thank you for that.
You can tell I've drawn like a few pictures because my brain is starting to fart a bit.
Is that what happens?
Like, no, actually, that's like a thing that, like, the more I draw, the more brain dead I get.
Really?
Yeah, it's like in Hero Aka with that blonde electric guy. When he uses his superpower, afterwards he becomes an idiot.
Okay.
For a short period of
yeah, you're using all your energy. Like, that's
yeah.
I get it. You're using it in that direction. All right, I'm going to last call this, chat. All right, we're going to drive the winged horse kick. Is currently winning. You have 3 votes for that. 1 vote for jump up and climb into the roof. No votes for open the door and roll in.
Shouldn't Blood of Mardor be like taken out of the
yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it should be.
Does it say to remove it?
It doesn't say, but presumably if you use it, then it's used. You know what? I'll put an asterisk next to it just to be. So I'll be like, is that used? And we'll see. We have Arvbot Plus, actually, that we're using. And, of course, the Sorcery Project is still here. But this is Effect Life's Arvbot Plus that is currently in use. And Effect Life did a wonderful job with it. So, okay, we are going to drive a winged horse kick through the wall. Yeah, it's true. It doesn't say one way or the other, Geister, but probably not because they said there wasn't a whole lot. So, yeah, well, Effect Life modeled a lot of it after the original, which is lovely. Okay. You lift your left leg and smash the side of your foot through the paper-thin walls with an explosive cry. You feel your foot connect, and there is an answering cry of surprise and pain and the sound of a body hitting the floor. Nice. With lightning speed, you dart forward, wrench the door open, and roll into the room and to your feet. The moonlight pools faintly into the room, and you can see a figure rising to his feet some way in front of you. There is a pause as you both stare at each other, the insistent flutter of shreds of the torn wall and a sudden night breeze echoing the flurry of explosive violence. Your assailant is dressed as you are, save for the scabbard curved sword or ninjato strapped to his back. You may note that he has lost 3 endurance for your winged horse kick. Hell yeah! What do you think of that? Jerk. With a shout, he reaches up and draws his sword with both hands in one incredibly swift motion. He stands, presenting only the side of his body to you, right foot forward, left knee bent and at right angles to his body, sword hip pointing up at your throat, arms extended. You begin to circle each other warily. And I have a picture of this dude, although the picture literally has his left foot forward, so I think they need to work on figuring out what their left and their right is. But so let me just get a picture of this quickly. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, this picture is not nearly as cool as anything that would be done, of course, ever by Terry, but nonetheless. All right, so here we go. Studio moded. They mirror flip the illustration. Yeah, it's basically exactly what they did, which is funny, but you know. Okay. So we're not showing the beast anymore. We're showing that, like that. Okay, here we go. That's the one currently facing us as we speak. Your opponent speaks, his voice flat and emotionless. I am Ninja. I follow the way of the Scorpion. I have slain all your guards, and I shall slay you, thus proving that the way of the Scorpion overshadows the way of the Tiger, just as the power of Nemesis overshadows the power of Quan. With that, he launches into a devastating attack, his sword a blur as it flashes through the air. You must try to block it. Your defense is 7, so when we try to do this on a block, you have to go back to this thing. So for this purpose, you have these things. So you need to roll 2 dice here, Caro, and this one we're going for a 7 or less. So actually it has to be less than your defense. It doesn't do even 2, which is annoying. So it has to be basically 6 or less. 7 or above, we didn't block it. 6 or less, we did. You will also note that he has his left foot forward. Nice, we did block it. All right, we succeeded.
And just like looking at this right now, like he does do the correct position though. The description should be wrong, unless he is left-handed.
That's true. Right? Yeah, but that's I don't know. I don't know whether to trust the description of the picture.
He has the correct quote-unquote stance. He's kneeling, but still.
So the art guy knows more than the writer. He lunges at your stomach. You sweep the blade aside with your forearm, and he brings it up and down at your head. At the last moment, you manage to whip your left forearm up and across your forehead, the force from the blow almost breaking your arm. Ouch. But the iron rods in your sleeve hold as they ring like a hammer hitting an anvil. As he steps back and slashes at your legs with mind-boggling speed, you jump high over the sword's path and land on your feet. You are just in time to twist your right forearm up across your chest and catch the blade before it bites into your neck. Seconds later, you bring it back to the left to take another blow, which is aimed at the other side of your neck. The high-pitched clang of steel on steel echoes into the night, and the sleeves of your costume hang in tatters, fluttering in the breeze from the open doors. The other ninja steps back and pauses, breathing heavily, left arm extended towards you, fingers spread, his right arm behind his head, the blade of his sword pointed down at your throat, an attack to test your skill. You have a brief moment in which to act. You send now, because the 2 options it gives you is shuriken or spit a poison needle at him. Clearly, we should have chosen poison needle because we keep getting asked to do this, but we don't have that ability. So, throw a shuriken. You send a shuriken hurtling towards him. This reminds me, by the way, that we're now down to 5 shuriken. I didn't make that adjustment before. So we're at 5 out of 7 shuriken. But he pulls his sword arm across, and there is a ringing sound as he deflects it with his forearm. He, too, has iron sleeves. As your eyes follow his block... give me just 1 second here. Okay. As your eyes follow his block, you fail to notice that he is reaching into his costume with his other hand and throwing something at you in return. It appears to be an egg, and you have no time to dodge. However, it does ask if you have the skill of acrobatics or arrow cutting, and we do have the skill of acrobatics. So, your reflexes take over, and you slap the egg aside with your hand. It curls through the air and shatters against the wall, staining it with pepper and other substances that are already eating into the wall. A device to blind, something unknown by the ninjas of the Island of Tranquil Dreams. Very good, he says sarcastically. One could almost believe that you had some sort of training as a ninja after all, despite the paltry way you follow. Wasting no time in speech, you take the chance to spring forward and attack. All right, chat, so now the question is, will you try the forked lightning strike kick? Here I'm going to refer you to our little move list over there. The forked lightning strike kick, the tiger's paw chop, which you can see right down there on the middle of the bottom row on the left, or the whirlpool throw. So I'm going to put this in there. So you can see the descriptions there. So, and then I'm going to pull this together. Forked lightning strike, tiger's paw chop, or whirlpool throw. So, forked lightning kick, tiger paws chop,
tiger pork chop,
like a pork chop, or whirlpool throw. What's it going to be, chat? Okay. Whirlpool throw. Last call here. Last call. All right, and it's the Whirlpool throw. Okay. He thrusts at your chest. You act quickly, stepping in and blocking his sword arm with your left arm, and then twisting with him, trying to yank him over your hip and to the ground. Now, his defense against the Whirlpool throw is 6. So if this succeeds, it means that we're going to add 2 to the damage that we inflict moving forward. So the way that works is we are going to, let's see, we have a punch modifier. Where's my opportunity here? Okay. So right now we've got 17 stamina, blah, 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 skill 0, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So we basically got 0 one way or the other. So we're going to be rolling 2 dice, and we need to get a 7 or higher. So we're looking 7 to 12 here is what we're looking at, Caro. And also the ninja. Nice. Okay, so ninja. And remember, he only has 16 endurance because we hit him with that kick through the wall because we were badass like that. All right, so this is what we're looking at. So we do the throw. You throw him over your hip, but he flips in midair and lands agilely on his feet, spinning to face you. But first we have some damage that gets done. So now you're going to roll 1 die, Caro, 1 6-sided die. We're going to add 2 to it. That's the damage that we did with that throw. As we, like, you know, hurt his... basically, I think we hurt his hip is what we do. And then our next attack will catch him unprepared and we'll have a +1 to it. So roll 1 die. Let's see how much damage. 3, okay. 3 plus 2. So we're going to do 5 damage to him. So he's down to 11 stamina now. And now we can hit him with either the Tiger's Paw Chop or the Forked Lightning Strike Kick. And we're going to be doing this at +1. Now, the kick will do typically more damage. It depends on the person that we're fighting, but the kick will typically do 1 more damage. Let me just confirm that, though. Don't vote yet. 1 die plus 12. Well, it's the same way, actually. It doesn't matter. So the punch, or so just basically depend on what we think is more likely to work. So either the Tiger's Paw Chop or the Forked Lightning Strike Kick. And for this one, I am just going to open a quick poll here. So the Tiger's Paw Chop is 1, Forked Lightning Strike Kick is 2. And we're going to get 1 added to our attack modifier. And we do have Inner Force that allows us to inflict double damage. The thing is that we've only got 1 point of Inner Force left, so we kind of got to be careful about where we use it and when. So, all right, so kick or punch, chat. Looks like we got 2 votes right now for the Forked Lightning Strike Kick. I think now we can go back to the amazing artwork. Ooh! I literally clicked off and I was just like, Tiger. I'm like, oh. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Look at that. That's really cool. Look at that shading. Wow. I tell you, it's almost like you're a professional. It's almost like you know what you're doing.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Trust me.
Okay. Going once. Going twice. Last call on this one. That's super cool.
Thank you.
And all right, we are doing option 2. So we have chosen option 2, which is the Forked Lightning Strike Kick. All right. So what I need you to do now is I need you to This one we need to get, so his defense is against a fork lightning strike kick, but we get +1. So now we can actually roll a 6 to 12. Yeah. So you can, so 6 to 12 is what we're looking at here. So 6 to 12 is what we need on 2 dice here, Caro. 6 to 12, 2 6-sided dice. Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? It's staring into your soul. A 10. Wham. All right. So now that means that because we did this throw, blah, 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 that means we're going to increase damage. So that means that we're going to get 1 die plus 3. So now roll 1 6-sided die. And roll 1 6-sided die, please, for me. And we're going to add 3 to it. That's the amount of damage we're going to inflict on him. Yeah, it really does. The tiger really does pop. It's true. Hello, hello. Okay, 5 on the die plus 3, 8. Wow. Okay, so this dude is almost done. He's down to 3. He's down to 3 damage now. Okay, so he still has endurance. He cuts savagely at your extended leg. Your defense against this is 7. Okay, so we have to defend against it. So to defend against this, we are going to need to roll. I believe it is. Given your defense. Okay, so we need to roll 7 or less to defend. So for this one, you're rolling 2 dice, and we need to roll 7 or less to defend against this. So let's see how we do, Caro. 10, my dice only roll high. That's all right, just keep that in mind. Okay, so that means he is going to do to us 1 die plus 1. Which means, that was, okay, 7 points of damage. That was a little unfortunate. So he really did it. However, we are still alive. So now we've got the tiger's paw, chop, or kick again. Now we only need to hit him 1 time. The punch is easier than the kick, chat, and we only need to hit him once, and 1 more time, and he's dead probably. So just keep that in mind. So with that said, I'm going to open this up. Punch is vote 1. Kick is vote 2. Bit too bright on the banner. Well, it's too bright because it's too bright in the office at the moment. So.
Oh, I have no idea if this ink is waterproof, actually. Time to find out, I guess.
So chat, let's get those votes in. Are we going with 1 is punch, 2 is kick? Punch is easier, does less damage, but he's already dead anyway. So personally, I think trying to make sure we hit is the biggest thing. But punch is 1, kick is 2. What are we going to do? Let's get those votes in. And then it'll be all up to Caro. Whether, Conan lives or dies will be totally dependent and completely on whether Caro... I'm just kidding. No pressure,
yes,
though.
Caro, if Conan dies, you are going to be permanently banned from this channel.
Yeah, it'll be your... Yeah, it's no problem. Just be aware that the whole fate of a nation, rides on you. Damn it! All right.
But no pressure.
Yeah, no, it's fine though. Just remember that we're all supportive, and it's all up to you. Okay. All right, going once, going twice. Okay, punch it is. So for this one, let's see. That is the tiger's paw chop. Okay, so here we go. So you're going to be, his defense against the tiger's paw chop is 6. So we need a 7 to 12 to hit him on this. 7 to 12. I'm from a different nation, so I don't care. No. The salvation of your nation ultimately is totally dependent. Because if his nation, if the island of tranquil dreams falls, next to fall is everyone else. So just keep that in mind. Okay, 2 dice, roll high. 7. Yes, that's a good hit, and now we know the deal. All you have to do now is roll 1 die, and it kind of doesn't matter what you get, because you are going to roll a die, and it's going to add 1. So you're in good shape. So roll 1 die. with a quick pull issue fixed. Nice effect. I will deal with that. 5 on the die, +1, 6. Outstanding. I will I will actually get new version. Thank you, Effect Life, for doing that. See, that's amazing. Wow. Of Arvbot. Okay. Saved, and I'll do that. I will do that in between when the stream is over. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That is a hit. So we have reduced him to 0 or less endurance. Yes, we have.
Good news, everybody. This ink is indeed waterproof.
That is good news.
That means I can do some funky shit.
Look at that amazing tiger. With both hands, your opponent cuts straight down at your head, the blade a blur, its tip arcing from a point near the small of his back to the top of your head. In an instant, you clap your hands together inches above your head, trapping the blade, a feat of extraordinary judgment and coordination. Still holding the blade, you jump and drive the ball of your foot at the ninja's throat with a cry, thus effecting a leaping tiger kick. It smashes into his throat. His arms fly up and he sails backwards to crash in a heap, the blow killing him instantly. You are left, the blade still in your hands, the victor, in the silent, empty house. Exhausted, you sleep where you are, a deep sleep haunted by gliding black shapes that seem intent on killing you, but you wake somewhat refreshed. Gain 3 endurance.
Okay, this ink isn't waterproof after all, but this is fine.
Gain 3 endurance. We took down this rival ninja. You may retrain any shuriken you've used. No, we already used one before, so we're back up to 6. Before you set off to Kiamo's palace. Well, damn, man. You are shown in to see Kiamo, and he listens quietly whilst you relate the night's events. When you have finished, he says, I am shamed that such a thing could have happened in my house. Thank Io, you are so formidable that I do not have the loss of your life on my conscience as well as that of Hyzen and of the 6 guards. You reply, do not feel shamed, Lord. There was nothing you could have done in any case. He was ninja. Ta-da! He looks at you for a long moment and then shivers and drops his gaze. You look at him. I am also ninja. No, you don't do that. Yes, indeed. There is a pause. Then he continues in a louder voice. Today you may travel to Iga. I shall send a force of 5,000 men to accompany you. There is still much work to be done in the south. May Io's blessings go with you. You take your leave, and a few hours later, you and Gorabai are heading south. In 2 days' time, you are at the port of Iga on board a ship bound for the island of Tranquil Dreams. Your spirit soars like a bird at the thought of home. At long last, the golden shores of the island of Tranquil Dreams shimmer beyond the breaking waves like a mirage. The ship grinds gently onto the sand, and you leap down at the sea's edge and walk towards the great red rock that rests alone in the desert. The temple to Quan nestles beneath it, its darkest vaults deep within its confines. Before the tiger head doors stands the Grandmaster of the Dawn. You bow and present the scrolls of Ketsuin, saying the words of time-honored ritual, I have completed my mission, Grandmaster of Grandmasters. He places his hand on your shoulder and says, You are the savior of all that is good on Orb, even of the temple itself. I named you truly Avenger. You will be the scourge of injustice for as long as you live. There is a great feast in your honor that evening, and the villagers cheer you to the echo while Gorabai tells them of your exploits. The children dance around you, and you are festooned with flowers. You rest alone on the next day until the Grandmaster of the Dawn comes to your cell. He squats low on the floor beside you and says, Honorek still lives. He has sworn vengeance. He survived even the blood of Nil, though he was near death for some weeks. Word has just reached us that the Legion of the Sword of Doom prepares once more for war. But enough of this. You cannot bear the cares of the world on your shoulders at all times. Come, there is little left that I can teach you, but what I can I will. Tomorrow I will tell you something that has been hidden from you. The time has come for me to tell you who your parents were, who you are, who you have become. Avenger, the most deadly warrior of them all. The end. Hell yeah.
We did it!
We did it, chat. We got through it, and we ended up with one of the most awesome things that we could get. So there are future books in this series, but I'm going to leave this behind for the moment. That music was great, wasn't it? It worked out really well.
Yes.
The reason I'm going to leave this behind, though, this was cool. We won. We only died 4 times. The problem with it to me is that the game is too linear. It basically, there are a couple of moments where it's almost like the joke Terry was making about like King's Quest, where like you forgot the item 30, choices ago, so you can't possibly, like, it's just, there's too much of that. And there are moments where you're like, why would this be the case? So like, I yeah, I think in the end, like, it was fun and I'm glad that we did it, but I think it's, we need to like move to something else, back to I think the fighting fantasy game books for a bit. And we've been away from them actually for quite a while. So I think it's okay for us to do something like that. As we move on here. Yeah, exactly. That was from the Ghost of Tsushima OST. That was from the Ghost of Tsushima soundtrack. So we did it, chat. We did it, and we got an awesome picture that Terry's just finishing up while I looked at it. It was really, really cool. The Lone Wolf series of books are really great, too, and we'll come back to those eventually. But, yeah, we're going to be moving into Fighting Fantasy, and I'll show you which ones we're going to do next. But we only died 4 times, and we were successful. So Assassin is complete. Yes, now on the previous comment, Effect Life, do a showcase of the other functionalities to chat. So the problem is I don't actually have time to do that. I hate to say that, Effect Life. What I'm hoping, though, is Terry and I are going to be back doing this again next month. And so what I was hoping maybe you might be able to do is next month, which is also when we're hopefully going to be reading you your epic poem, then we can go through some of the functionalities before we actually get into the next book. Because it will also be like, the original Arvbot was designed for the Fighting Fantasy game book series, and we've kind of modified it since then for these other books. So it will be a perfect showcase, basically, I think, of what you've done with Arvbot Plus. So I'm going to actually ask that we save that until next time, because both for time reasons and also because I think it isn't going to work as well. But I do want to say that Arvbot Plus has some really awesome things in it. I actually did show chat some of these already. Not only can you add different elements to it, but also Effect Life set it up so that when your health gets below, I think it's 50%, the number in your health number is highlighted in yellow. And then when it gets to, I think it's like 1/5 or something or less, it's highlighted in red. So it's super cool. Like, it's really, really neat. And there's all different like bells and whistles and things like that we can do. Plus it has items and artifacts, plus clues and notes. And as you say, chat will be able to decide, other functionality that they might like to see. So the threshold values are customizable and all that stuff. So super, super cool. And I definitely do want to show it off, Effect Life, for sure. Definitely. And I appreciate, again, the fact that you were able to do this. So chat, Conan with a breathing tube, Garrote, flash powder, flint and tinder, spiderfish, the multiple save points. We had shuriken jitsu, acrobatics, picking locks, detecting and disarming traps, escapology, which we did use at the beginning of the book. We didn't use escapology again. We used it the first time. Clearly should have used poison needle because, we kept finding that all the time. We called on Quan once, so we got that. And our death count was 4, which is not bad. So not only have I seen the Lone Wolf RPG, I have it, Caro. Indeed I do. And I actually bought it from the stand right next to which Joe Deaver was actually working. And I met Joe Deaver and actually talked to him about being on the channel, but he didn't really want to do interviews like that. And then he sadly passed away. So I know quite a bit about it. I think Joe Deaver is kind of an underrated figure, I think, because he also allowed people to digitize his work. I did the Lone Wolf thing on stream before, the Lone Wolf game, video game, and that was a lot of fun. And also, they digitized all the books also, so that you can actually use this thing called, I think it's Seventh Sense, which is also really neat. So, yeah. No, you really did a good job with that, Effect Life. Like, it's definitely customizable in a lot of really good ways. So yeah, so that's what we did. So Terry, why don't you bring us through, when you're done, that is.
Oh, I am done.
Okay.
I'm just like picking up pencils from all over the
from all over the place. This looks awesome. So yeah, let me see if I can.
Still not dry though.
I'm gonna have to zoom, even though it's not gonna take up the whole window. I'm gonna show a little more of it so we can get the full effect. There we go.
Well, you could like overlay it over the other stuff because we don't need that right now.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but this way I got the whole image. Good. And I didn't have to stretch it even. Okay.
No, I mean like put it on top of the overlay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right.
Then you can make it bigger.
There we go. All right. Here we are. It is now over the overlay. All right. So now you can see this. Yeah, he was a good guy for sure. All right, so this is what we got. So first we have the tiger. This is the tiger from the Vision, I believe.
Yes.
So we've got the tiger from the Vision. That's awesome. The blue eyes and the.
No, it's actually green, but like the camera has like makes everything look.
But in the
colder
book
than
it said blue, so.
Oh yeah, it's totally blue. I knew that.
I knew that completely.
I remembered that.
I like how the right eye of the creature, I mean the left eye as we look at it, but its right eye is a little like 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 that's the violence part. Or just like and then of course obviously the tomato juice, right?
Yes.
That's totally what it is in its mouth.
No, he ate
strawberries.
A cherry fritter.
Cherry fritter. Yeah. That's totally what it is. So that is an awesome tiger, and it really was that way that I was on the other image, and then I just clicked over and it was like tiger. I'm like, oh hey, so that was perfect. So that was the first one that we did. Or that was the last one we did.
The last one. So
and
this
then we
one,
have this.
not a lot of detail because I had like a lot of struggle figuring out this composition. This is two dudes in the tent.
I like that. So that you're looking
Akira
at it.
And
JQ.
what's the other ones?
JQ. JIKKYU. So I think it was JQ. JQ and Akira, I love it. Shortly before JQ had his unfortunate transformation, and then we poisoned him, and it was bad.
Yup.
So we had that, and then we
scrolls that we got last time.
Yep. Sort of like, what do the scrolls of Ketsuin, like, what do these say? They all say, don't read, don't read, don't read, don't read. There was her.
They all say the one who reads this is stupid.
Yeah, the one who reads this is a fool and
yes.
Foolish fool. All right, that's awesome. And then
that was a warm up.
Which is really, and I love the coloring in that is just like the blue, the darker blue and the lighter blue. The what you should actually, and of course the pink hair, but what you should actually be wearing as a ninja, which is the dark blue, and light blue. Is it always dark blue that you wear as a ninja?
It's like a gray blue, like let me.
Yeah. Like a slate.
Do I have anything in that shade at hand? No. Just like Google like historical ninja outfit. Yeah,
that's cool. So that came out really well, and we did it, chat. We finished it, and so let me just get you the book that we're going to do next time, and then I'm going to say goodbye to Terry, and I'm going to close up shop. While I'm doing that, chat, take a quick look here. I'm just going to go run to my bookcase, which is 20 feet from me. But while I'm doing that, please vote, because as soon as we're done today, we're going to close this down. This is the game that I'm playing next week. The choices are Rain City, The Longest Journey, and The Last Epoch. Right now, Rain City and Longest Journey are tied at 6 votes each, with Last Epoch in third with 2. So get your votes in now, because I'm going to close this down when we are done with today. All right, I'll be right back with the other book. Way of the Tiger Assassin complete.
I need to figure out what to do with this camera.
What? Hold on.
Like, the thing is, I do have a camcorder here, but for that one I would need a capture card, and those are pricey.
Okay, were you calling me, Terry?
Oh, I was like just talking about camera stuff.
Oh,
like
I see.
Like, basically, I should do something about this camera quality. Like, ideally, I would find a way to use a camcorder that I have.
Yeah.
But, like, I need a capture card to record with that one.
But so there is, I should show you, there's a really, really cheap, and I mean like 15 or 20 bucks cheap thing that I use when I'm on the road. That is I used it to capture my PlayStation. It's pretty amazing, actually. I'll try to see if I can find a link and send it to you if you remind me. And it's so USB with HDMI. So then now the camcorder, that assumes the camcorder has an HDMI out.
I'm pretty sure it does.
So if it does, HDMI out to that USB, to that little capture card, works really well.
Let me double check.
While she's double checking, I'm going to show you
the thing.
That's the camcorder. Okay. Yep.
No?
I think it's that side one, right?
It
Yep.
does have an HDMI out.
Lovely.
One.
So yes, so then that's what you get, because it's like $15-20 I think at most, and I don't know even if I have it. Well, I don't want to. Anyway, I'll I can send you the link to it, and it's available. I think it's from somewhere in China. I don't remember where, but it's on Amazon and so on. And that would be very easy. Then you just need the HDMI cable to attach to the USB, to that capture card, which just plugs into a USB port on your computer, and that's it. And it works super well. So I was able to do this while streaming in the closet during the winter when I was on the road getting ready for this. So chat, this is what we're going to be doing next time, which is this Phantoms of Fear.
Ooh.
And the setup for it.
So I get to draw a lot of monsters, yes?
Yes, you do. And this is the setup. A humble wood elf you may be, yet it is you the gods have chosen to take on Ishtra and his gathering army of evil, chaotic creatures. You, chat, must penetrate this forest before it becomes invincible. As a demon prince, Ishtra cannot be overpowered by weapons made by any earthly race, even by the most magical sword of the high elves. So what can you do against him? Perhaps the wood elves' powerful art of dream control could give you important advantages and allow you to cast spells at vital moments in your adventure. So basically, you have this dream control, which allows you to attack creatures that might not otherwise be hit. And I'm just going to show you this one image, because I think it's pretty awesome. I'm going to full screen this so Terry can see it for a minute on stream.
Oh, yeah, you can, turn off my stream, I guess.
Okay, let me just show you this, which is... And, so very, atmospheric and very, I don't know, dark and bizarre, I guess is the way I would describe it. So Phantoms of Fear, it is book 28 in the Fighting Fantasy game books. And as I mentioned, a long time ago, I left behind the games that I played up to book 20 or 21, and the rest of them didn't come out in the US. So we're now into the UK and European versions that were available. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hey, Admiral Kirk, what's going on, man? Good to see you. So that's what we're going to be doing next.
These came from the UK, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, it was a UK company.
No, I mean in general, choose your own adventure books. Right?
True. That's true. The choose your own adventure
mentioned before.
Well, because some of the choose your own adventure were American ones, which is why I'm trying to remember which was which. But oh man, there's a lot of good. Okay, I'm gonna do one other one because this is super cool. All right, look at these two. I have no idea what this is. I'm gonna show two. First of all, it's a quartz golem.
Okay, cool.
That's super cool. And then the other one is this one, which are supposedly wolves, but remind me of ROUSs.
Rats of unusual size. I don't think those are a thing.
So really slick. So this is going to be good art for Terry to work with and do her own inimitable, amazing stuff, I think. So, but we're going to let Terry go so I can get wrapped up here, because in about a half hour, I'm over on the next channel playing some Talisman Adventures. Terry, I'm so glad we got to do this again, and we're back in the saddle with this. And the new setup, I think, worked really well. I understand you want to work on the resolution of the camera, but as a concept, I think it's really neat, as a concept. So I think it comes out really well. So how did you feel, I guess, is my question about all that. And and what are you going to be up to? Where will we see you next?
Well, I'm properly brain farted, which means that I did draw a lot.
Yes.
So yes. No, I'm glad we could start doing this again. And this worked as well as it did. A few kinks I need to work out. Probably not gonna be drawing in my sketchbook in the future, or I'm gonna get one that opens flat.
Okay, yeah.
With a ring binding or something.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to keep pushing down the pages.
Yeah. But these are minor tweaks, though. That it's not like it was. It worked pretty well, and these are just minor tweaks to make. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So where will they see you next? I know where.
ArvCon, right?
Yeah.
Is there a game before that?
Nope. You are right. ArvCon is going to be the next time you will see Terry here as part of the Adventures of Middle-earth crew. Yes, and of course you should support Terry as well. on all of the things on the Patreon, and where can they find you on all the stuff, Terry, online?
On Instagram and on Twitter and stuff. Yeah.
All with the same thing, with TariToons.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Wow, I'm like really brain dead right now.
that listen with the art that you did today. I don't blame you. Thank you as always. It's always a lot of fun, and it was really gorgeous. Chat. Can we get some love for the amazing TariToons? Terry, thank you, and I will see you next week. Actually, next weekend, a week from this weekend, for ARFCon.
Yes, very good. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you, Terry. Bye-bye. All right. Good stuff. So that's how it went, chat. That is how we did it. And we successfully managed to get through the book. And I'm glad, because I did want to get done with it, because I wanted to get done with the book because I have other stuff that I want to do, and I want to be able to, just other things. I've enjoyed that book, though. I mean, I did come out, I think, pretty well. But I just, I wanted to be able to move back into the series that actually this was originally built for, and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm glad that all worked. All right. So let's check in here quickly. That's all done. Let's check in here quickly on how we did with the next game. Next weekend is ARFCon. Yeah, not this coming weekend live suing, the weekend after. So this weekend coming, I'm going to be at Three Rivers, but a week from this Friday is when ARFCon starts. And a heads up to my mods, I will be notifying everybody we'll have a little mod meeting about this coming soon. So I have it all mentioned down there. Okay. All right, here we go. Last call. We got 8 votes for Longest Journey, 6 votes for Rain City Last Epoch. Last chance, chat. Last chance going once. Last chance going twice. Sold. All right, so Longest Journey. Dragonspear will be happy about that. He's been wanting me to play that for a while. It's close, though. Rain City, which Mrs. Dunsel has brought up a bunch of times, is really close. So next time, it literally, Longest Journey won 8-7 over, and then Last Epoch was in third. So Rain City is real close. I think if that gets nominated again, Rain City may end up winning. And this is the way it goes. Nonstop has heard me tell the story a million times. Nonstop nominated, I think it was Lunar. I don't remember what it was, a bunch of times, and then it did eventually come through. Trendane nominated World of Goo a bunch of times, eventually came through. So eventually it'll get there, so fear not. There's almost one this time, but it's going to be the Longest Journey is going to be the winner this time. Dragonspear also had nominated that quite a few times, in fairness to him. So, so Longest Journey is going to be up next. That's cool, but what I need to do now is I need to get on out of here because I got to get prepped for D&D at the top of the hour. So I hope you like what you saw and heard today. And if so, I hope you'll follow the channel, check out the YouTube, the Discord. YouTube is !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets. Website is arvanelleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area where you can get stuff for Infinity and Beyond and Adventures in Middle-earth, soon to be Espergenesis. !ArvTrayon is the Patreon right there. 23 patrons, $2.14 per month. Very excited about that. That's starting to move up in the right direction. We can get channel goals there, and we can also get individual stuff like the poem, which Effect Life is going to be getting next month. And of course, we've got !ArvTran for that. And of course, the sub button, which allows you to sub to the channel and get custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff. Last but certainly not least, on the publishing side, !Icarus for details about that. Right there, that poster, which is currently too bright. Let me move that down a little bit. All right, that's far too. I don't know if it's going to focus on that because right now it's focused on me. There we go. So see, there it is. That. And now it's like, help me. Let me move since I don't have to see the fan. Okay. And let's brighten that up a little bit again. There, better. So yes, yes, your dice rolling definitely helped, Caro. Thank you for being a part of it. Without you, we would never have returned the scrolls of Ketsuin to their rightful place. So, anyway, so Icarus, exclamation point Icarus, my graphic novel that just won silver medal in the IBPA Benjamin Franklin Awards. I'm going to be selling that in person, copies of those at Three Rivers Comic Con this coming up this weekend. I'll be there Friday. Well, actually, I'm getting there Friday, but it starts on Saturday. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. So I'm very excited. The first con in person for over a year. So excited for that. And I will have little Arv with me. And then, so we've got Icarus there. And Athos, which did that, published that book, is also publishing Gray Shade, my novel Gray Shade, which will be coming out in a month and a half or so. And you can find that at exclamation point Gray Shade KS for details there. Plus, more importantly, I shouldn't say more importantly, as importantly, because we've got the book coming out and then the rest of it, which is the Kickstarter coming out, the second 2 books, plus board game, plus tabletop role-playing game, plus hello, focus there, camera. Plus tabletop role-playing game. Plus we've got tabletop role-playing game, plus the audiobook. That's what I'm trying to think of. All of that stuff is going to be happening and is going to be coming up for us soon. That's going to be coming up in the late summer, early fall. So this is going to be the beginning of that in a way, sort of introducing people again to the world of Gray Shade. And I'm very excited about that book being released. That'll be the next month and a half or so, as I said, 2 months or so from Athos. So exclamation point Gray Shade KS will give you more details about that book from Athos Arts. And exclamation point Library, Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and source book. And you may be hearing more from me about that very soon, because it may be that the books maybe finally have maybe emerged from their customs purgatory, maybe. But more to come about that with official announcements coming soon. Finally, as always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives, and exclamation point Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention, very important to reach out to others when you need help and to reach out to others when they need help as well. That's going to do it for me. I'm going to be over at GOG in about 20 minutes or so please jump over there. And then remember, tonight, don't forget, chat, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, the Arvocalists return. My amazing voice team is going to be doing NeoCab, and they will be back. Zach, Russ, and Rob will be here at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then Little Red Dot will be joining us at 10 p.m. Eastern. So by 10 p.m., we will have a full crew for NeoCab. So that's very exciting. I am very glad to have our vocalists back in the saddle, and you can join us for that this evening. So D&D, Talisman Adventures coming up in about 20 minutes on GOG, and then GOG.com's Twitch channel, and then back over here at 9 p.m. Eastern for the Arvocalist and NeoCab. Tomorrow, we have Community D&D at 9 p.m. with Triffid, Rockgod, Echo Alpha X5, Hoodie, and Shadowed Mage as your DM, Dragon of Icespire Peak. Thursday, we're off. And then, as I mentioned, Friday is currently Esper Genesis, but that may get changed because I may be in transit on Friday down to the Three Rivers Comic Con. So that may end up having to get pushed, in which case we'll do something on Friday. It may just be like a travel kind of stream. Saturday, we'll definitely do Legacy of Dragonholt on location from Pittsburgh, where we are staying. So that is the plan. And then next week, a week from this Friday, ArvCon. So very excited about all that. That's going to do it for me. Thank you, everyone, for being awesome today. Thank you to Triffity Mats for being best mod in the bods in the business. Thanks, Triffid. Thank you so much for my wonderful subscribers, Triffid, Nonstop, Effect Life, Garlic Tofu, Live Suing. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters as well. Thank you to 69 Feats, Admiral Kirk, Aidwin, Black Fury, Craigery, Ekeg, Freed. Thank you to Geester, Gorgar, JDib. Thank you to Caro for the dice rolling today, too. Thank you to Kaya. Thank you to Marinda. Thank you to Residue. Thank you to Rogue. Thank you to Stygian Network, to TariToons. I'll come back to Terry in a minute. Thank you to Tauntaums, T-Bank, Sparkly Wallflower, Twitch Growth, which is totally not a bot, you Christensen, and V&K. And special thanks today to TariToons for her amazing art as always. It was a privilege and a pleasure to do this. That's it for me. Stick around, stick around the area. No raid today, but join me over at 4 p.m. Eastern, about 20 minutes from now, for some Talisman Adventures over on GOG Stream channel. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Assassin complete. Next up, the Phantoms of Fear. Get ready for that. I'll see you folks over at 4 p.m. on GOG's Twitch channel. And thanks, everyone. Much love. Be good to each other. Bye for now. Honk.